The young man slowly woke up, groggy from someone constantly calling his name, practically yelling in his ear. Before Lu Sheng could even figure out what the hell was going on, the teacher at the front immediately started chewing him out. His classmates turned around, snickering and saying he looked completely spaced out. Lu Sheng, you've been sleeping all day? The teacher was utterly fed up with Lu Sheng's academic attitude. The unified exam was only 200 days away, but Lu Sheng just lay sprawled out in class every day, sleeping like a little pig. This infuriated the teacher. The more he scolded, the more agitated he became, practically frothing at the mouth. He warned Lu Sheng that if he kept this up, after graduation, no one would even hire him to carry bricks. The teacher even tried to test Lu Sheng, asking if he knew the minimum blood vitality standard for a cement worker. He assumed Lu Sheng wouldn't know anything, but to his surprise, the boy shyly answered 0.8. Hearing this, the teacher grew even angrier, demanding if Lu Sheng met that standard. His classmates also jumped in to mock Lu Sheng. They laughed and sneered, saying that Lu Sheng's blood vitality barely reached 0.7. What else can he do besides sleep? The teacher shook his head, sighing with resignation. Honestly, you have no drive at all. As soon as class ended, his friend Lu Kaming ran over to Lu Sheng, smiling and greeting him. This friend was one of Lu Sheng's few companions. Lu Sheng nodded wearily. He closed his eyes, thinking about the scenes that had appeared in his dreams. They were all desolate, ruined deserts, utterly devoid of people. Strange monsters surrounded him. He complained, telling Lu Kaming not to mention those things anymore. The nightly nightmares had left Lu Sheng's mental state extremely poor. His blood vitality had even dropped by 0.02. He'd even had to take a lot of supplements and train diligently just to recover a little, but he still couldn't escape the teacher's daily scolding. Lu Kaming wasn't overly concerned about blood vitality matters like this. He advised Lu Sheng not to worry about what the old teacher said. Just accept being an ordinary person. Let the great heroes and world saviors be the geniuses who take on those roles. He thought his best friend's comfort was a beacon of hope, but it just led to the same old despair. After saying that, Lu Kaming immediately invited Lu Sheng to the internet cafe like usual, but today, Lu Sheng wasn't in the mood for anything. He just wanted to go home, so he declined Lu Kaming's invitation. Lu Kaming was incredibly surprised by Lu Sheng's refusal, because the two of them were usually inseparable. His friend even generously offered to pay for everything at the internet cafe, including drinks today, but Lu Sheng still shook his head vigorously. Lu Kaming still wanted to keep convincing Lu Sheng to come along, but his other friends called out to him. He finally settled on another day, said goodbye to Lu Sheng, and then ran off to join his friends. On his way home, Lu Sheng's mind was still restless. His thoughts constantly drifted back to the nightmares of the past few days. He couldn't believe he'd transmigrated to a new world, only to still have to worry about taking exams. As Lu Sheng thought about subjects like math, physics, and chemistry, and having to keep up with current events, it was clear that this new world wasn't much different from his old one. Lost in thought, he was yelled at by a passerby for standing in the middle of the road. The passerby who just admonished him was carrying a towering stack of heavy goods on their head. Lu Sheng watched, envious. He wondered when he'd ever be that strong. The body he'd transmigrated into was as weak and useless as a piece of trash. Over 300 years ago, this world underwent a massive change. A colossal fissure appeared in both the sky and on the ground. From within emerged bizarre creatures, altering the world's trajectory. Thermal weapons were no longer effective. Humans suddenly acquired new powers. When a genetic lock within the human body was broken, one's physical power could easily break through to unimaginable heights. Thus, humanity embarked on the path of martial cultivation. However, in this war for survival against monsters, humanity remained in an extremely disadvantageous position. It seemed like every day, towns and cities fell. Humanity continued to suffer endless defeats. In light of this situation, the teacher stood before the entire school to address all the students. You were born in a turbulent era. You must shoulder the responsibility of this age. You are training in martial cultivation for the advancement of humanity, and each of you is a flame of martial cultivation. Lu Sheng leaned against a locker, panting exhaustedly. He had practiced body techniques 3 times in a row. Yet, his blood vitality hadn't changed at all. In contrast to his younger sister, her blood vitality had rapidly reached 0.9. As for him, he couldn't even replenish the blood vitality lost due to his nightmares. Lu Sheng painfully thought of his parents, who had worked tirelessly and spent their money on supplements for him. Heaven had also given him a second chance, transmigrating him to this world of martial cultivation. Was he just going to let these terrible results continue? He muttered, deciding he would try even harder, be even more determined. If practicing 3 times didn't work, then I'll continue with 4, 5, 6. Suddenly, everything before his eyes blurred, then went completely dark. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself having transmigrated to another world. The scene here was incredibly desolate, more horrifying than anything he could imagine. Dead bodies lay scattered all around. Lu Sheng pinched his cheeks a few times, but he couldn't wake up. He just sat there, assessing everything, completely unaware. At that moment, a monster appeared behind him, baring its fangs. The shadowy figure behind him began to attack. It lunged at Lu Sheng. Luckily, Lu Sheng wasn't dazed and clueless anymore. He managed to block the monster in time. Otherwise, he would have lost his first kiss to this ugly thing. Only now did he get a clear look at the shadowy figure's face. It was actually a zombie. Seeing its sharp fangs about to sink into his butt, he couldn't help but panic. Damn it, I've been running away for so many nights, yet this thing still managed to catch me. The zombie lunged to kiss Lu Sheng, but he was quick and clever, so he managed to dodge his head to the side. The zombie's kiss landed on the ground instead. Lu Sheng gritted his teeth, telling it not to underestimate him. Even though my practical combat class scores are terrible, I still have a blood vitality of 0.7. Even if others consider me trash, I'm still considered half a martial cultivator. With that, he lifted his leg and landed a kick straight to the zombie's chest, making its heart ache as if thousands of cuts had pierced it. After being kicked, the zombie fell backward, tumbling to the ground. Before it could even get back up, Lu Sheng had already picked up a super huge, enormous rock. Then he ran over to the zombie and gave it a ticket to get its face bashed in. After a few thumps and bangs, the little sister zombie lay still and motionless. Lu Sheng also sat down, panting, as that whole ordeal had taken a lot out of him. Looking down at the little sister zombie at his feet, Lu Sheng spoke. Well, I guess this thing's done for, huh? A zombie's weakness must be its head. Suddenly, strange black floating wisps emerged from the zombie he'd just defeated. They then drew into Lu Sheng, making him a little flustered. What the hell is this? More and more strange particles clung to him. Lu Sheng cried out in despair. At that moment, unfamiliar memories suddenly flashed in his mind. A conversation between two men appeared. One man spoke of his dream to join the Defense Corps base. His interlocutor listened, then replied that defense training there was incredibly arduous. Furthermore, it was very dangerous, but the muscular man didn't hesitate at all. Then came a montage of grueling training sessions. In memories of the uprising, Turo, monsters attacking people relentlessly, strange abominations everywhere. Lu Sheng realized these were the memories of the zombie he'd just taken down. But why did he get them after finishing it off? He couldn't wrap his head around it. His body started undergoing bizarre changes. His arms and legs were trembling uncontrollably. Just as he was losing control, another zombie lunged out of nowhere, straight at Lu Sheng. But strangely, Lu Sheng had become impossibly, incomprehensibly strong. He easily took down that zombie with just a few punches. Right now, Lu Sheng's power made the Green Giant nothing more than a name, a forgotten legend. The pathetic zombie crumpled to the ground. That's when Lu Sheng finally snapped back to reality. The strange black substance coiled around Lu Sheng once more. He could feel an immense power surging through his veins. With his years of experience binging cheap novels, Lu Sheng figured out, eliminating a zombie here not only granted him its memories, but also its power. Lu Sheng stared at his hand. This was beyond belief. Just a few punches, and he'd effortlessly absorbed someone else's life's worth of experience? It felt fast, and a little messed up. Still, if none of this was a dream, it certainly had its perks. But there was something off about these dreamscapes. It's just a dream, right? Did it have to feel so terrifyingly real? After a while, another glowing corpse appeared, catching Lu Sheng's eye. The person's skeleton was dissolving, and their memories began to flood into Lu Sheng. Base 1359 appeared in the memories. Lu Sheng remembered seeing that base in the previous batch of memories too. Looks like he needed to find base 1359 to uncover the truth behind this bizarre dream. Absorbing this zombie's memories didn't feel as intense as the last time. Lu Sheng understood then. If he wanted to inherit their power, he had to fight the zombies first. Suddenly, sea blue tendrils appeared in the sky. Lu Sheng's head started spinning, and he felt dizzy, just like back home. Everything went black again. He opened his eyes again. Before him was his familiar bedroom. Outside, a persistent knocking. Lu Sheng woke up drenched in sweat. Lu Sheng, come eat. How much longer are you going to barricade yourself in that room, huh? Lu Sheng dragged himself out and opened the door. The one who'd called him was Qing He, his younger sister. His beautiful sister couldn't stop grumbling at him. Don't tell me you were training. You probably just zoned out and fell asleep in your room again, didn't you? But when she looked up and saw her brother drenched in sweat, her eyes went wide with surprise. Especially when she noticed his six-pack, suddenly so defined she didn't know when he'd gotten it. Lu Sheng, still a bit dazed, mumbled an explanation. He'd just been a little distracted earlier and must have dozed off without realizing it. Qing He turned her back and reminded Lu Sheng, "You're awake now, so hurry up and eat. Don't make mom and dad wait any longer." But even after she left, she couldn't help but think about her brother's suddenly chiseled physique. Suddenly, her face flushed crimson. After Qing He left, Lu Shang's thoughts drifted back to their childhood. Back then, Qing He used to stick to him like glue, but ever since they entered the academy and got their first test results, her attitude had shifted. Lu Shang didn't blame her. Her vitality index had already surpassed 1.0, and her combat power index had broken through. If she kept it up, she'd quickly qualify for an elite martial arts university. In short, Qing He was nothing short of genius. Thinking of himself, Lu Shang felt a pang of helplessness. He was just a pathetic older brother to a genius younger sister. An unbearable combination, really. Suddenly, Lu Shang's gaze flicked to his reflection in the mirror. Since when did his body get so toned? He actually looked pretty handsome. Lu Shang stretched, warming up his body. Even though he'd just woken from a nightmare, he didn't feel tired or sluggish anymore. Instead, he felt an unprecedented surge of vitality. Not only that, he remembered all those zombie memories perfectly. And now he even had inherited combat skills. This was utterly inexplicable. Even his vital energy had gotten a boost. It was like Lu Shang could truly manifest his dream powers in reality. Others would break their backs training, but he just needed a good night's sleep to get vastly stronger. This was seriously like hacking the game. Lu Shang headed to the dining table, where his parents greeted him with beaming smiles. His mom had already brought out so much food the table was overflowing, barely any space left. With parents doting on him like this, if he still couldn't make the cut, it'd be truly pathetic. Dinner was a bit weird today. Lu Shang ate like a hungry tiger, shoveling spoonfuls of rice in his mouth without pause. As he ate, he wondered if his mom's cooking skills had somehow gotten an upgrade. The food was strangely delicious today. He just couldn't stop himself. He held out his bowl, asking his mom for another helping, but there was nothing left on the table. The bowl he just emptied was already stacked high with others. Lu Shang had truly given his family quite a shock today. Seeing the empty table, he awkwardly chuckled and pulled his bowl back. "Oh no, I'm full." Even he didn't know when he'd started eating so much. But his dad snatched the bowl from his hand. "What are you talking about? Are we really going to let our boy go hungry in this house?" His dad immediately told his mom to cook another pot of rice and whip up a few more dishes. "It's not every day our son eats like this. We can't let him turn into a starving ghost." He happily patted Lu Shang's shoulder. "Son, this is how it is during puberty. You'll eat endlessly and still feel hungry, and you'll shoot up like a beanstalk." He added that tomorrow he'd go out and buy even more food. This puberty phase was prime time to boost his vitality, and they couldn't afford to waste such a golden opportunity. Qing He, sitting beside them, scoffed. Lu Shang's already 18. His last vitality test was only 0.8. "It's not like it'll just go up because you say so." His dad, hearing his daughter, looked utterly displeased. "Girl, don't try to knock your brother down. Even a small increase is still an increase. The difference between a standard martial arts academy and a top-tier martial arts university is like night and day later on." Qing He just snorted, completely ignoring her dad, and turned her head away. Lu Shang sat there, utterly helpless. His sister kept needling their dad, who was practically fuming. Meanwhile, Lu Shang was still pondering. Had his vitality really grown stronger from the dream? He worried his senses might be tricking him. Either way, he had to get to a martial arts dojo and get himself checked out, quick. By nightfall, he was already at the Hongchuan Martial Arts Dojo. The dojo master was Yi Hongchuan, head of a traditional boxing lineage, who once ranked in the top 10 at the 23rd Beihai City Martial Arts Exchange. He was a 4th-level martial artist. According to World Martial Alliance standards, a 1st-level martial artist requires a vitality threshold of 1.5 and a combat rating of 150. A 2nd-level martial artist requires a vitality threshold of 15 and a combat rating of 1,500. Just from level 1 to level 2, the standard jumps tenfold. For a 3rd-level martial artist, the vitality threshold is 100 and the combat rating soars to 10,000. Only when No Hong Shuyan's peak blood energy exceeded 200 and his combat power reached 100,000 could he become a 4th-level martial artist. Luke Tan thought to himself that Gi Hong Shuyan's blood energy exceeding 200 was equivalent to 300 times his own blood energy. The levels of martial artists were vastly different. That was the difference in life levels. High-level martial artists were truly genuine superhumans. Moreover, only children from wealthy families were qualified to participate in this supplementary class. If Kan Hoa intended to join this supplementary class, her parents would probably help her with the money. But for him, there probably wouldn't be such a chance. Thinking positively, he also had a way to absorb zombies in his dreams, so he didn't really need such a supplementary class. As Luke Tan entered the door, the receptionist greeted him with a smile. "Welcome to Hong Shuya Martial Arts Hall. Are you here to register for our advanced martial arts class, student?" Luke Tan replied, "No." He was only here to check his blood energy value. The receptionist maintained a smile on her face, but in her mind, she was secretly judging Luke Tan. "You came here without a family trainer, so it seems you're not from a wealthy family." The receptionist directed him to go down that way, to room number 8. Inside, there would be machines for testing. The girl politely asked Luke Tan if he needed her to accompany him for assistance, but Luke Tan declined. Inside the room, Luke Tan prepared for a while. Then he began to place his hand on the spherical top of the device to test his blood energy. The screen displayed his current blood energy value as 0.963. Seeing the number appear, Luke Tan was overjoyed. The dream wasn't made up after all. Defeating zombies really can increase blood energy. In just an hour, I've increased by 0.2. At this rate, he could even catch up with his sister. But Manhwa was already a genius. Putting that aside, Luke Tan could now go further on the path of martial arts. So, what about the strategic index? Luke Tan walked to the strategic index test machine. As he extended his hand, he self-encouraged and comforted himself that there would be no problems. Because all the combat skills and experience of the jumpsuit-wearing zombies had deeply ingrained themselves in his mind. Luke Tan threw a punch at the test machine, and in the very next second, the machine displayed the result. Surprisingly, Luke Tan's index had reached 113. He was wide-eyed and open-mouthed. This magnitude of increase even surpassed the blood energy limit. He truly could become a genuine martial artist. It felt surreal, how after sleeping for only an hour, both his blood energy and combat power had increased so much. What if he continued to sleep for 8, 9, or even 10 hours? If so, he could completely transform himself in just one night. But when night fell, Lu Sheng couldn't sleep at all. He angrily threw the pillow on the bed. Damn it, he wants to sleep now, but can't. Maybe he needs to be awakened to sleep like he did this afternoon, or maybe he can only sleep well in class. Lu Sheng got up and turned on a light, looking at the clock. It was only 9 in the evening anyway. If he went to bed now, it would really be too early. It's best to go train a bit, then he'll naturally fall asleep when he's tired. Lu Sheng took a deep breath, taking advantage of his overflowing vigor. He seized the opportunity to consolidate it. The 35th sports promotion program officially begins. Lu Sheng started with the first dance, but his limbs suddenly didn't obey him. Instead of practicing the first move, it was doing something Lu Sheng didn't even understand. He had practiced the 24 stances since elementary school, so there was no way he would do any move incorrectly. The zombie's memories once again appeared in Lu Sheng's mind. He now understood that because he had the zombie's memories, his body was now practicing the martial arts it had learned before. Most apartments had turned off their lights and gone to sleep, but a shadowy figure of a teenager was still diligently exercising on the bed. Lu Sheng powerfully swung his arm out. He was so tired, he was panting. He slowly realized that this move required more than 200 repetitions compared to his previous training movements. Lu Sheng's hand swung out, creating a powerful blue electric current. He himself felt this even more clearly. Each time he could feel the strength in his body gushing out like sweat. Lu Sheng gasped. He realized something was wrong. It wasn't just the martial arts training, but also the breathing method. Memories resurfaced, accompanied by voice, constantly reminding him of breathing methods and martial arts techniques. Even eating, sleeping, and resting had to be practiced anytime, anywhere. This was too miraculous. Just a few moves had surpassed his year of training, even more than years of results. So it turned out that dreams were the real genius classroom. Lu Sheng closed his eyes, folded his hands together, and transmitted the inner energy. He let the abundant power coil into a perfect circle. The rising tension in the air suddenly paused due to the gurgling sound coming from Lu Sheng's stomach. Lu Sheng clutched his stomach miserably and fell down. His face was sunken as if he had been starved for 1,000 years. But saying that wasn't wrong. He was unbearably hungry, and this kind of hunger was too terrifying. Lu Sheng's haggard face looked very much like a zombie. He thought of the meal last night and drooled with longing. Perhaps it was because after his vigor increased, the energy in his body was not sufficient. Normal food simply didn't have enough nutrition he needed. Lu Sheng thought he needed body tonics. Now, he was trembling with hunger, but his family's income basically couldn't afford expensive tonics. If this continued, it would definitely hinder his progress. Lu Sheng looked around his room and then remembered something. He definitely had to earn money to buy tonics. He remembered that each semester there were rewards for students with good academic performance. I remember the A-grade scholarship at Manhwa Academy is 50,000 yuan. To get this amount of money, one must show corresponding strength and talent. Lu Sheng's eyes were more determined than ever, determined to win the scholarship to buy food. The next morning at the gymnasium. In the school changing room, Lu Sheng and others were changing. Lu Kai-ming zipped up his jacket and happily started a conversation. It's rare that the teacher didn't check old lessons today. It's been a long time since we had combat class. Just as he was about to continue, Kai-ming was surprised when he saw Lu Sheng's delicious six-pack abs. Old Lu, when did you get such amazing muscles? Kai-ming still wanted to touch them a bit, but Lu Sheng quickly put on his shirt. Kai-ming didn't notice and continued to praise. How come you've grown so big and tall in just a few days? I didn't even recognize you for these chest muscles. Lu Sheng calmly replied him, I've been working hard lately. Don't think I'm too delicious and touch me randomly. Lu Sheng smoothed the white strands of hair from his forehead and said, speaking of which, my hair has grown long. I should get a haircut. Kai Ming pouted him. I think you just want to show off and attract girls because we have a combat class today. I saw through your vulgar intentions a long time ago. Lu Sheng was helpless at his friend's thoughts, but didn't pay much attention. With that, the two walked off arm in arm. As they walked, Lu Sheng thought about how to show off. Perhaps this really is an opportunity at the martial arts hall. The combat teacher, Zhong Zhengua, spoke up. Today's combat class will still be consolidating the basic counterfighting techniques I taught you before. Lu Kai-ming whispered in Lu Shang's ear. He heard that Teacher Zhong is an official level 2 martial artist. He's been to the battlefield and even fought strange beasts. Then he told him to look at the scar on the teacher's hand. Indeed, there was a distinct large scar on Zhengua's hand that caught people's eyes. Lu Sheng looked at him intently and thought to himself, a level 2 martial artist. In his opinion, the teacher's combat techniques were too simple and crude. What he learned in his dreams was much more sophisticated than these. At this moment, Zhenghua was warming up and demonstrating moves. A moment later, Zhenghua kicked strongly a few times, good, then retracted his leg to finish. All right, the main points are what was just mentioned. Then Zhenghua pointed to a student below. Yang Yifei, come up and practice with me. I'll demonstrate for everyone to see. The crowd below watched, showing great excitement at this person's appearance, especially the girls. Yang Yifei also quickly stood up. Yes, sir. Walking confidently amidst admiring gazes and compliments. A girl with longing eyes kept saying, Yifei is so cool and aloof, and his strength is amazing. Her friend next to her chimed in, exactly, he's the hot-shot academic and hot boy Lada. I really want to practice with him. The crowd buzzed when the teacher called Yifei's name. Some girls even teased each other. Practice what? More like want to devour him whole. In contrast, the boys, including Kai Ming, snorted dismissively, complaining, it's him again. Every time there's a chance to show off, it's always his. Although handsome, he's also rich. Even his blood and chi tonic supplements for each stage are the best. Last time, Yifei's chi and blood level was already 1.2. The teachers at school even show favoritism by guiding him. Lu Kai-ming complained, how are commoners like us supposed to live? While Lu Kai-ming was still grumbling, envious of the other guy, he had already demonstrated a few powerful kicks. Seeing that, Lu Sheng thought to himself, if it were the old me, I could only lament my unfair fate. But now everything is different. Even Lu Sheng's eyes radiated brilliance. You must go and seize everything yourself. On the stage, the two continued to demonstrate for everyone, ending with a hand strike. Zhong Zhengguo brushed his clothes and praised Yang Yifei. Your movements aren't bad. Your center of gravity shift has a slight issue. I'll fix it for you later. Practice well. Your future is limitless. Next is practical combat. Call a few students up to fight you. Yang Yifei cupped his hands respectfully. Yes, thank you for your guidance, sir. That was on the surface, but deep down, Yang Yifei was utterly disdainful of the teacher in front of him, a small second-level martial artist who couldn't even compare to his family's personal professor. Zhong Zhenghua, of course, didn't notice the sarcasm. He looked around, searching for any students who wanted to fight Yang Yifei. Does anyone want to come up? Those below avoided Zhong Zhenggua's gaze, trying to look elsewhere. Lu Kai-ming snorted dismissively. Who can beat him? Going up there would just make him look good. Zhong Zhenghua frowned in disappointment at the student's reaction. Every time I mention practical combat, these students are as timid as ostriches. How am I supposed to teach them? Although the school instructs students to cultivate blood and chi, train their bodies, and practice martial arts, after graduation, only the elite among them enter the army and embark on the path of martial arts. Zhong Zhenghua looked around again at those below and muttered, everyone says I'm biased towards good students. But these kids don't think about how many, besides Yang Yifei, dare to step up and accept the challenge. Zhong Zhenggua's sweeping gaze accidentally met Lu Sheng's intense and spirited eyes. Zhong Zhenghua couldn't help but be startled to see the boy's eyes filled with such an imposing aura, as if he had truly been in combat before. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Zhong Zhenghua immediately pointed to Lu Sheng sitting below. Then this student, come up here and practice with Yang Yifei. Lu Sheng calmly stood up and said yes. Lu Kai-ming anxiously pulled his friend back. Old Lu, just admit defeat. The exam is coming up. Getting hurt now will have a big impact. Don't force yourself for pride, okay? Lu Sheng flexed his arm, showing off his muscles. With an extremely charming demeanor, someone said to Kai-ming, but deep down he couldn't help but worry. You've also been practicing very hard lately. He confidently walked onto the training ground. The teacher also began to announce the time limit was 10 minutes. The rules were still like in combat. Safety must be paramount. Especially remember the key points mentioned in the previous lesson. The two faced each other. Lu Sheng suddenly remembered the advice before the match. He must be extremely calm. It was so simple. Why hadn't he thought of it before? Well, if he had, he wouldn't have had this life. The teacher asked Lu Sheng what his chi and blood value was. Although it was 0.963 just yesterday, Lu Sheng humbly said he had only reached 0.8 in front of the teacher and his classmates. Zhen Zhonghua was a bit confused to hear this number. He didn't expect Lu Shang's chi and blood score to be so low, because his current appearance didn't match someone with a zero point 0.8 chi and blood score. In the end, he just reminded the student to pay attention to his striking force, mainly to exchange techniques, and then shouted begin. Yufei looked down on Lu Shang, asking if he was ready. He even put on airs, reminding Lu Shang not to land on his hands when falling to the floor, or he'd break a bone. The important thing was to protect vital areas of the body, especially the head. Lu Shang showed no emotion. He humbly said, "Thank you, Yufei. I'm ready too. Please guide me." Before anything, Yufei rushed forward, fists flying towards Lu Shang. As he threw punches, he thought with contempt. "Lu Shang, do you know what's most important in actual combat? You have to control the distance between you and your opponent. Observe your opponent's movements and predict their moves." He thought a lot of theories in his head, but it all boiled down to one sentence. That is distance. Chi and blood. The friends watching this practice match were all dumbfounded by Yufei's agility. Yufei charged forward like a storm. He had already determined the outcome in his mind. He was sure he would win, but unexpectedly, the punch he put all his strength into hit nothing but air. Yufei's face was rigid on the spot because Lu Shang had easily dodged his previous blow. He even counterattacked. Yufei was still looking for his opponent when Lu Shang delivered a thunderous punch directly to his cheek, sending him flying billions of meters away. Yufei was knocked unconscious, falling into the crowd sitting below. Everyone around looked bewildered and worried. Everyone was surprised by Lu Shang's terrifying strength. He only used one punch to send Yufei to the hospital. No fuss needed. Seeing that young Yufei no longer had the strength to wake up, the teacher shouted loudly, telling the students who were standing still to call medical assistance. The student also hurriedly nodded and quickly ran to follow the teacher's words. Medical staff arrived, bringing a stretcher to take Duong Dat Fai away. He looked extremely pathetic just because of his arrogant nature. Luke Tan then went to Teacher Trung to explain that he did not do it on purpose. But because he hadn't checked his strength in quite a while, this incident occurred. Trung Tran Kwok looked at Luke Tan with deep eyes, thinking something. He placed a hand on Luke Tan's shoulder, encouraging him that injuries in real combat are unavoidable. He assured him that Duong Dat Fai's injuries were not too serious, but invited him to his office for some tea. Luke Tan agreed and scurried after the teacher. Before leaving, he asked Kai Min to help him with roll call for the next class. Kai Min watched Luke Tan's retreating back, his mind full of questions. He wondered if Luke Tan had taken something to suddenly become so strong. Just a light touch, and Duong Dat Fai was knocked out, lying on the ground without moving. Was this really the Luke Tan he used to know? Scene switches to Trung Tran Kwok's office. Luke Tan was surprised to see a bonsai in the teacher's office. He didn't know that Teacher Trung had such a hobby. Teacher Trung smiled coldly and said that everyone has a hobby, an interest. Moreover, everyone has their own secrets, don't they? Every word in the teacher's speech was vague, hinting at something. Tell me, isn't that right? Student Luke Tan has a blood chi value of 0.8. Luke Tan was not surprised when the teacher said this. He calmly explained to the teacher that he had only asked for the results of the previous test, so he had answered that way. The teacher's expression instantly hardened. He pressed Lu Shang to confirm he hadn't used any chi blood-stimulating drugs, sternly reminding him that such substances were strictly forbidden for students due to the extreme danger they pose to one's body. If discovered, the consequences would be severe and not easily dismissed. Lu Shang was surprised when the drugs were mentioned. He swore to the teacher that he absolutely hadn't touched those forbidden drugs. Hearing Luke Tan's firm answer, the teacher immediately opened a box containing a blue orb to check Luke Tan's current blood chi value. Placing a hand on it would easily check, because if drugs were used, the blood chi would fluctuate wildly, and the index would show dramatic oscillations. After checking the blood chi value, the combat power index would also be checked using the robot in the back. If Luke Tan's combat power and blood chi value matched, it would fully prove his strength. Luke Tan did not hesitate to accept the teacher's offer. He placed his hand on the orb, which began to glow with blue light, and quickly displayed the result. Surprisingly, Luke Tan's blood chi value reached 1.5, making the teacher's mouth gape so wide his jaw almost dropped. The teacher sat staring blankly at the display screen, thinking to himself, a value of 1.5 already reaches the level of a first-rank martial artist. But a martial artist at 18 like this, not only in this school, but even in Bakha City, would be called a genius. Luke Tan, meanwhile, had already gone to the robot to finish testing and further astound the teacher. As expected, he either did nothing, or when he did, he made the teacher's eyes widen in disbelief. Luke Tan just lightly touched the robot, and its head flew off. The teacher could no longer sit still. He slammed the table and immediately stood up, shouting, "What happened? What's going on?" Luke Tan not only damaged the teacher's robot, but also destroyed Trung Tran Kwok's bonsai. From a lush green tree with leaves covering its branches, now only a withered trunk remained, looking beyond desolate. Tran Kwok's tears fell, the tree's life ended. The teacher cried out in agony, his hands trembling as he called his beloved tree. "Oh no, my violent sadness, why have you left me? Woo-woo." Luke Tan, at this moment, was taking down the robot head stuck on the wall, his face flustered as he apologized to the teacher for overdoing it. But who told the teacher to insist on testing? If he hadn't done anything from the start, wouldn't the bonsai pot still be intact? Trung Tran Kwok hugged the tree, thinking about Luke Tan's abilities. Although that robot was just a student version, it should still be able to barely fight back against the attack of an official martial artist. The more he looked, the more he realized that this kid, Luke Tan, definitely had combat power beyond just a first-rank martial artist. When everything was done, the two men faced each other. Luke Tan sat respectfully with his legs crossed, bracing himself for the teacher's reaction. After all, he had just committed such a big offense. The teacher spoke first. "Didn't you say your last blood chi test result was 0.8? So, how long ago was that last test, Luke Tan?" Luke Tan calmly replied, "Half a month ago." This answer surprised the teacher even more. "You mean, in just half a month, you've increased your blood chi from 0.8 to surpassing an official martial artist? This is too miraculous." Trung Tran Kwok asked Luke Tan which great family he was a descendant of, or which grandmaster he was training with, to be able to jump so fast like that. Luke Tan gave a wry smile, saying his family background was quite ordinary. There was no great family here. He also didn't have any master guiding him. As for why his strength had improved so quickly, that was an unrevealable secret. Trung Tran Kwok fell into deep thought. In less than a month, his blood chi had nearly doubled. Moreover, his combat power far exceeded the standard of a first-rank martial artist. During his student years, his achievements were considered not bad. He had trained arduously for many years, breaking through to a second-rank martial artist and then joining the military. After stepping onto the battlefield, he realized the truth. Humans had no way to defeat monsters. When facing irrational power, one realized how helpless and insignificant humans were. And if those monsters were to be defeated, it would only be by people who were just as incredible. They were unfathomable people. In other words, they were also a type of monster. Thinking too much gives me a headache. Zhong Jinghua decided not to bother with it anymore. He leaned back in his chair and sighed. "I understand. With your academic performance, you should definitely join the school's elite class to be guided by the best teachers. I will contact the academic affairs office." Lu Sheng flinched when a teacher mentioned the elite class. He thanked the teacher for his kind offer, but declined to join that class. Because even with guidance and study, it wouldn't be as fast as his training and his dreams. Zhong Jinghua was quite surprised by this refusal. "You don't need to? But for a gifted student like you, the school will certainly do its best to help you. If you encounter any difficulties during your training that require the school's assistance, don't hesitate to speak up." Seeing the teacher say this, Lu Sheng no longer kept his modesty. He calmly made his request. "In that case, I won't be polite anymore. I have two requests. First, I want to receive a martial arts scholarship, and second, I hope the school will give me flexible class time." Zhong Jinghua agreed to Lu Sheng's proposal. He promised to apply for a special scholarship of about 30,000 yuan for Lu Sheng. As for class time, he would discuss it with the academic affairs office later. But it would take 2 days for the scholarship to be approved. However, Lu Sheng's cultivation time couldn't be delayed. Zhong Jinghua took out a black card and gave it to Lu Sheng, saying, "I'll give you this card first. Return it to me when you're well off." Lu Sheng happily accepted the card. This was a black martial arts card. Inside, there was at least 100,000 yuan. Compared to the scholarship money, it was far more. "Thank you very much, Teacher Zhong. Haha, don't neglect your cultivation. I hope you will bring glory to the school. All right, hurry back to class." With that, Lu Sheng turned and left Zhong Jinhua's office. After Lu Sheng had completely left, the teacher suddenly burst out laughing. "My Baiha Academy suddenly has a Lu Sheng who is under 18 years old, but already possesses the strength of a second-rank martial artist. Before the comprehensive examination begins, we must hide him well, turn him into the school's secret weapon, and then give the other academies a fright they'll never forget." It turns out the teacher also loves to show off. After talking for a while, he realized he needed to quickly report this news to his superiors. But it seemed Zhong Jinhua's goal didn't stop there. He wanted even more. This way, after many years, they finally had someone who could reach that place. The scene shifts to a supermarket. At this time, a staff member was promoting the newly launched Lan Xian wine from Ren Xian Tang Nourishing Chi Powder. After one's vital energy reaches 0.8, it is best to use it to consolidate vital energy. Moreover, this type is specially for female martial artists. There is now a discount program where you can buy this bottle for only 30,000 yuan. The woman immediately asked the staff to wrap it up for her. The daughter happily hugged her mother's arm, promising her that in the upcoming mock exam, she would definitely win first place in her grade. Lu Sheng watched their retreating figures and fell into thought. That bottle of wine cost 30,000 yuan. His parents worked hard day and night and could only afford nourishing chi powder priced at 3,000 yuan. The stronger martial artist, the more money they could earn. With more money, they could maintain their martial artist strength. The truth showed how difficult it was for children from poor families to excel academically. Lu Sheng thought of his younger sister, Kanhua. She was a true genius. She even possessed the innate ability to change her own destiny. But she was implicated by her brother. Like him, she had to share her meager resources. He thought of himself in his previous life, unwilling to accept the truth that he was mediocre. But he didn't wholeheartedly try to change his fate. He could only live a dull and uninteresting life day by day. At this moment, two students walked by, chatting about playing games today. The round-headed one boasted, "Today, I'll carry you to gold. A rookie sword hero will lead you on a rampage." The one next to him, probably a good kid, was attaching himself to the street boy who spent all day at internet cafe for the first time, showing extreme admiration for the street boy. Lu Sheng looked at the two of them, discussing and pondered deeply, then realized, that's right. The desire for knowledge is an inexplicable thing for martial artists in this world. But they hide in games, craving a little connection to their previous lives. This is like the miserable fish in the water wanting to swim freely in the vast and boundless ocean. But they cling to the comfort and peace within the water. However, that was just the past. Because now, everything has changed. The current Lu Sheng has emerged from the water and seen the outside world. Once again, he has received another chance to change his destiny. In this life, what he wants to do or what he should do, he will definitely not choose wrong again. Lu Sheng looked up at the sky, filled with the hope and ambition he carried. Something seemed to affect him. His eyes suddenly widened. Lu Sheng's body began to show familiar signs. Lu Sheng understood that this was due to absorbing a large amount of combat memories in a short period. So, right before his eyes, he had understood many things. His bottleneck in fist techniques had been broken. From now on, he would make these fist techniques his own. Lu Sheng clenched his fists, determined to succeed. On this new path, he had taken another new step. Lu Sheng thought about his family, where his sister Kanhua and his parents were. Then he told himself he would relentlessly become stronger and seize everything he always wanted. The scene shifts to Lu Sheng's next training session in his dream. A zombie with quite a few broken teeth lunged to attack Lu Sheng, but failed. Lu Sheng had now reached the level where a single swing of his arm was enough to send these amateur zombies flying hundreds of meters away. This zombie took only one punch and fell flat, unable to lift its head to counterattack. After defeating the zombie, Lu Sheng also complained inside. It's just a zombie that was a martial artist in its previous life. Even after turning into a zombie, it can still use fighting techniques. After defeating this one, its memories immediately merged with Lu Sheng. Based on this zombie's memories, base 1359, which Lu Sheng had been looking for, was right before his eyes. He looked far into the distance, searching. This base must have been destroyed in the black mist and the seemingly endless wave of strange beasts earlier. Even a beast he encountered was a bit odd. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. No sooner had he spoken than several creatures with shiny white teeth, like porcelain, ran towards Lu Sheng. But they had only gone halfway before being beaten to the point of crying inconsolably. After defeating them, his vision also became clearer. When they fell, base 1359 appeared before Lu Sheng. He finally found at the scene of a once beautiful city, now completely devastated, appeared before his eyes. The city was surrounded by an incredibly strong wall. Lu Sheng climbed down from a hole in the city wall to enter. Only when he stood down did he realize how enormous the wall was. Lu Sheng, standing next to it, was like an ant next to an elephant. He couldn't help but exclaim, "What a huge city wall! But this is just getting into the city. Where exactly is the base?" He thought to himself, if some ridiculous giant beast popped out now, he wouldn't be too surprised by this place. Lu Sheng continued to explore the area. The deeper he went, the more he was taken aback. The city walls here were about 20 meters thick. What kind of war could possibly breach a base of this scale? It was hard to even imagine. The more he thought about it, the more confused he became. Whether in martial arts or overall civilization, this world far surpassed his own. If even such a powerful civilization could be brought down by the claws of alien beasts, what hope did their future hold? Lu Sheng noticed a building here that looked different from the others, so this must be a military base or command center. In the middle of the building, there was a large hole, as if something had attacked it. Looking closely, he saw someone sitting quietly in a corner inside, looking like a zombie. Before Lu Sheng could look further or think anything, a mysterious force rushed towards him, leaving him no time to react or resist. Lu Sheng felt like that he didn't understand what this was. The person just now used a shockwave to affect the opponent's mental power, but who is this that has such strong, intimidating power? If I could defeat this guy, I would become much stronger. But first, to ensure his life, he should not get close to that place, so he temporarily put aside that dream, focus on finding the target first. First, he had to observe everything around here. There were only wandering zombies. The city didn't seem threatening at all. Their power was only at a kindergarten level. Lu Sheng went down and gave each of them a kick. Each of them fell down. When they were human, they were bitten by zombies. Now that they are zombies, they can't bite anyone and are constantly kicked by humans. Perhaps the most miserable in this situation are the ignorant zombies who don't understand what's happening. After dealing with the zombies, Lu Sheng jumped onto the wall. When he entered an apartment, he saw no signs of zombies, which surprised him, but this house was now nothing more than a dump. After some observation, Lu Sheng guessed that this family was eating when the apocalypse suddenly happened because the dishes on the table hadn't been cleared and there were no signs of the windows being broken. Lu Tao Ni, is it possible that no normal people were attacked by the black mist and turned into zombies? Turning his head, he saw a circular object emitting a blue light that caught Lu Sheng's attention. He curiously put his hand on it to see if it would do anything. As soon as he touched it, a bunch of light rays jumped and danced. Then a beautiful young woman appeared wearing revealing clothes. Lu Sheng's eyes widened. He guessed this was probably a 3D image from virtual reality. The text on the machine also began to appear. Lu Sheng recognized that this machine used his language. Oh no, could it be a trap? Lu Sheng was flustered seeing that the language used here was similar to that of his world. He wondered if it was because this world was more advanced and had high-tech devices that automatically translated for users. The machine began to introduce itself. It is a scientific and technological product of Tian Hang. It is an integrated AI supported by the 16th generation smart optical brain named AI. Why know this? AI is responsible for controlling the management of the server network of base 1359. Lu Sheng exclaimed as expected of future technology. He called out Nai Y, then asked the machine to show him the latest news from the past week. The machine received the command, then simulated scanning data connection. For a while, after successfully connecting, it displayed a series of important information. Among dozens of new pieces of information, what caught Lu Sheng's attention the most was Thap Kinvu Jia. Currently, it is year 1124. He thought if the hierarchy of this world and his world were the same, then it would be truly unimaginable what level their martial arts development had reached. Before Lu Sheng's eyes suddenly appeared an image of a huge dragon with a disgusting face attacking. Although it was only a recorded film, Lu Sheng felt terrified. In any case, the martial arts and technology of this world were too terrifying. They had developed at a speed he could hardly imagine. However, even the most formidable martial arts techniques and the highest, strongest city walls offered no sanctuary under the looming shadow and relentless claws of the alien beasts. Some desperate souls even chose to abandon their homeworld, launching an interstellar search party in hopes of finding another habitable planet. However, on the day that human civilization completely collapsed, it left no uplifting information. Lu Tan walked towards the chair and thought to himself, as expected, this Earth still could not escape its fate of destruction. He regretted that such a powerful and splendid civilization could not continue to develop. After settling comfortably in the chair, Lu Tan asked AI why to show him world history. AI Y received the command, then began to retrieve information about world history. In just a moment, Lu Sheng had all the information he wanted. While watching, he pondered, this world is so powerful, yet it couldn't escape the fate of destruction. He wanted to see the history of this world, perhaps to learn something from their experience, and then help his current world avoid such a fate. The newsboard began to recount world history in the first year of Vo Lich. Large cracks appeared all over the world from then on. Countless alien creatures were born in the 34th year of Vo Dao. The nation of Ko Long gave birth to the world's first internal martial artist. In the same year, the World Martial Alliance was established. Lu Sheng started sweating more and more. Isn't this information the history of the world he lives in? Lu Sheng looked down thoughtfully. So that's how it is. The fact that we speak the same language or are in the same martial artist class is no coincidence. What you just saw was not the destruction of another world, but the future of your world 10,000 years from now. But Lu Sheng seemed to have gained a new realization. He realized that what he just thought might not be the same world. It could also be a coincidence or a parallel world. Lu Sheng quickly called AI and asked if he could search for information about a human. The person he wanted to find was himself. Very quickly, AI gave Lu Sheng the answer. He wanted. The screen displayed 36 results for Lu Sheng. He didn't expect to actually find information about himself, but what was surprising was that the information stated he would only live until he was 28 and remain an ordinary person. His marital status was still happily single with no partners. There was no historical evaluation of him either. After searching for himself, Lu Sheng couldn't sit still. He remembered he needed to find out more about his sister. He continued to order AI. He continued to search for Lu Qinghe in March of 299. Unexpectedly, AI didn't have enough authority for Qinghe's name. The system notified that the visitor could not query information about this martial artist. The system requested genetic blood samples to create a user. Lu Sheng looked at his hand and wondered how he was supposed to provide a blood sample. At least there should be a syringe or something in that strange machine. Before he knew what to do, AI had unknowingly moved closer to Lu Sheng. Then she closed her eyes tightly and bit his finger. Perhaps the incredibly real sensation in being touched by a girl like that made Lu Sheng blush. After AI's efforts, blood drops appeared on Lu Sheng's hand. The system announced that blood sample collection was complete and was undergoing testing. Everything was done, but Lu Sheng still hadn't gotten over his earlier shyness. He thought to himself, future people are really bold, even though it's just a fictional character. Why does it feel so real? Suddenly, AI's manifestation changed. Her expression also became different. The information displayed now was no longer green, but had been replaced by red. The system announced that human genetic blood samples had been detected and the official planning had begun. The system is connecting to the Fireseed Library resource number 1359. After a successful connection, Lu Sheng's authority was unlocked. Lu Sheng was curious about what Fireseed was. Could it be a plan to leave Earth and find a new world? The screen displayed Lu Sheng's personal information. This information was no longer the same as what he initially received. All of his information was now fully revealed. Lu Sheng suddenly realized that his future had changed. The information panel was no longer as sparse as it was initially. His martial arts strength at that time was a level 4 martial artist. His usage authority had reached level 2. His life experience had also increased. He graduated from Baihe Academy in Baihe City with the top rank in the school server and the 23rd position in the entire city. After that, he was admitted to Baihe Wuhan University. After graduating from university, he joined the military region and later served in the Tiananmen military region. But one thing remained largely unchanged compared to the old information panel. Lu Sheng still died. Young this time, he died at 37, but his marital status was still unmarried. Specifically, his historical evaluation went from nothing to 2 stars. Lu Sheng was astonished. Could it be that after he became stronger, his future also changed? He couldn't believe his eyes, so he re-examined the information from this AI, but according to the data, even his life trajectory before 18 was exactly as presented here. Even his increase in strength before the college entrance exam was recorded, but compared to the heavy history, that small shock wasn't even a ripple in the vast database of humanity. There were no geniuses. Lu Sheng smiled, faintly thinking that over 10,000 years of history, there had been countless geniuses, so the so-called famous names in history were just a few people. However, this data still had errors. The data stated that Lu Sheng's blood chi score was 2.012 in the college entrance exam, and his combatability index was recorded as 257. But if you disregard the space based on his current speed, just physical training, breathing methods, and maintaining existing resources, it would normally take him over 200 days to achieve this result. But if Lu Sheng added cultivation and harvesting in the dream space, then his achievements should have progressed much further. Thinking that he was only ranked 23rd in the city was unacceptable. He wasn't even on the national list. Lu Sheng couldn't let this go. His name must be known to many people. Lu Sheng's eyes showed determination. His future would definitely not be just like this. If he continued to get stronger, he might be able to change the future. Human civilization cannot just proceed to a future of destruction. Lu Sheng clenched his fist, determined he would surely change this history and reverse the situation. Back to the real world. Lu Sheng's mother was serving breakfast to her children. Seeing Lu Sheng still in his pajamas, she wondered, "Xiao Sheng, why haven't you changed your clothes? Aren't you going to school today?" Lu Sheng peeled a steam bun in his hand and said the teacher allowed him to choose to study at home from now on without having to go to class. Both his mother and Qinghe found this a bit unbelievable, especially Qinghe. They attended the same school, but she had never heard anyone mention the option of studying at home. Her brother was indeed becoming more and more incomprehensible. Lu Sheng had now finished eating and stood up to leave. "Then I'll go back to my room to practice." His mother was very happy about his recent diligence and training. She even urged him to go back to his room. "Quickly, go, you must maintain this enthusiasm." Qinghe frowned and watched Lu Sheng's retreating figure. Lately, she also felt that Lu Sheng was changing more and more. He no longer had the naive look he used to, but was becoming more calm and mysterious. As soon as Lu Sheng returned to his room, he heard his phone ringing on the table. It wasn't hard to guess the person who called him must be Teacher Zhou. Lu Sheng answered the phone, and sure enough, it was him. The teacher called Lu Sheng to inform him that his scholarship was now available. He could go to school to pick it up this afternoon. Lu Sheng politely thanked the teacher. The teacher also didn't forget to ask Lu Sheng about going to school today. "That's right, why aren't you at school today? Didn't we need to discuss your school attendance schedule?" Before the teacher could finish, Lu Sheng interrupted, saying that he didn't have much time left, so he couldn't continue to waste it. For now, he couldn't explain it clearly to the teacher, so he told him to contact him later. If there was anything, then he hung up immediately. Lu Sheng thought there was no time now to think about the issue of being too outstanding and excellent would cause others to envy and hate him. He had to quickly train and reveal his talents. He had to surprise everyone to do that. He could only reveal more talent to gain more resources. Lu Sheng imagined himself standing on a mountain. He had to climb to the top of the mountain as fast as possible. Then he would find a way to change that future. The scene shifts to Lu Sheng's dream. He is ordering AI to call out his authority. After that, all the cultivation perception methods and related martial arts records were found. Yet received the order and immediately proceeded to search for information for Lu Sheng with her life. After a successful search, a total of 465,715 results were found. Facing such a huge amount of information, Lu Sheng also felt overwhelmed. He continued to ask Yi to select the most suitable methods for level 1 cultivators. At the same time, she filtered out the most valuable content. Yet Yi proceeded to filter again. The limited scope this time was for level 1 cultivators as requested by Lu Sheng, which resulted in 34,521 results. After sorting and selecting the highest corresponding results, it finally came down to 3 unique search results. These are the best cultivation techniques in the last 10,000 years. First is the Astral Refining Body Technique, created by Wang He, the strongest level 11 Martial Alliance member, which was put into the Fire Seed plan. Next is the Natural Breathing Method, created by Yang Yidan, the strongest level 11 Martial Alliance member, which was also put into the plan. And finally, the Crystal Wall Contemplation Method, created by Duan Yifeng, the strongest level 11 Martial Alliance member. Lu Sheng was startled to realize that the creators of these cultivation techniques were all at level 11. Currently, the strongest person has not yet passed level 9. Everything here is at level 11, so this is too illogical. Although it is still only an introductory version, the value of these cultivation techniques is very precious, difficult to express, because these methods have all been put into the Fire Seed plan. It seems that the strong individuals in the Martial Alliance had long predicted this fate, but they knew they were not capable enough, so they could only pass on all the essence they had learned in their lives, hoping that future generations could help them continue to carry out this Fire Seed plan. But unfortunately, they could never have imagined that the one who picked up this Fire Seed was not their descendant, but Lu Sheng. Ignoring these matters, Lu Sheng's main purpose in coming here was to practice. He started with the Astral Refining Body Technique, turning his body into a miniature universe. Lu Sheng made a fist with one hand and placed the other hand in front of his chest. The first movement was clear mind and empty thoughts and spirit not outwardly emitted. This refining of vital energy and blood, strengthening the physical soul, and purifying the mind will penetrate into every cell. Each of these cells will transform into a planet with invincible power, so that the blood flowing in the body turns into galaxies. From internalizing within the body, it transforms into a star domain. The body density of a martial artist cultivating to the peak level, both strength and defense, reaches an unimaginable level. Vital energy and blood will be as strong as a planet and as thin as a galaxy. After a strenuous training session, Lu Sheng was covered in sweat. He recalled the movements he had practiced before. If the body refining technique before was 1 in terms of effectiveness, then the effectiveness of the Astral Refining Body Technique must be 1,000 or even higher, although when he first started practicing, it was just like any other exercise. If that's the case, then he must quickly practice the next exercise, which is the Natural Breathing Method. Lu Sheng closed his eyes and performed it for the first time. He took a deep breath, and around him, thousands of flames seemed to radiate. After completing it, Lu Sheng felt as if countless flames were burning in his body. Even inside, he felt a gradual warmth. This is only the first breathing method. There are still many powerful breathing attributes behind it. Next is the Crystal Wall Contemplation Method. This move helps purify the mind and strengthen the will. This is related to the most mysterious energy part of martial arts cultivation. Lu Sheng began to sit down and cross his legs to try it out. This move probably uses the spiritual power of cultivation. Around him, blue lights began to radiate, covering his entire body. In just a moment, Lu Sheng entered a private space. This was probably his mental world. In here, he saw a Lu Sheng wearing only pants, sitting embracing himself with his eyes tightly closed. Spiritual will is extremely important for martial arts, so a martial artist needs to have a firm will without distracting thoughts. Whether it's combat power or cultivation speed, they far surpass martial artists with loose wills and more desires. But after observing and exploring for a long time here, Lu Sheng still didn't know how to cultivate this. Finally, he sighed in frustration, looking at his immovable statue in front of him, and gave up. It seemed he could only practice it slowly later. Ending today's training session, Lu Sheng slowly opened his eyes again. As soon as he woke up, he had to breathe continuously because he was too tired. Although it was training in a dream, the feeling of fatigue was extremely strong, completely unlike dreaming. Suddenly, everyone smelled something foul. Lu Sheng looked down at his arm and saw that it was now so dirty it couldn't be any dirtier. If some pretty girl accidentally walked into the room, he'd be so embarrassed he wouldn't know where to hide his face. He extended his hand out, as if admiring the results of his previous training. Perhaps these were the sweats secreted from his body. Sure enough, the effect of cultivation in a dream would also affect the body in reality. This truly exceeded his imagination. But now he had to take a shower. The effects of the Astral Refining Body Technique and Natural Breathing Method unexpectedly managed to expel impurities from his body. Lu Sheng walked to the table, picked up a bottle of wine, and thought, his cultivation has been very fast lately. Tomorrow, after receiving the scholarship money, he could continue cultivating. The bottle Lu Shang held in his hand was a rare elixir from 10,000 years later. This bottle would not only increase the user's strength, but would even change the pharmaceutical landscape of the entire world. Lu Shang couldn't help but smile at the thought. At this moment, Lu Shang was at Baihe Academy to collect his scholarship. Although he wasn't very quick to attend classes, when it came to collecting scholarships, even lightning was just a name. Teacher Zhong, seeing Lu Shang arrive so quietly, couldn't help but grumble. Next time, at least let me know in advance. Lu Shang politely replied, I understand, Teacher Zhong. I apologize for the trouble. Teacher Zhong didn't scold him anymore, just told Lu Shang that if he had something to do, he could leave first. But he had to ensure he came to school at least once a week and not disappear so wildly. Lu Shang said, yes obediently like a puppy, then immediately left. Teacher Zhong looked at Lu Shang's retreating back and felt that although they hadn't met for 2 days, he completely couldn't understand Lu Shang anymore. An aura emanated from him that made it impossible for others to grasp his thoughts. On his way home, Lu Shang thought about how he needed to quickly solve the problem of insufficient vital energy and blood. Now he had money in hand. Moreover, he also had prescriptions from the future world. Now, self-adjusting and nourishing was the best way. Lu Shang recalled the prescription he had previously found in the Fire Seed Resource Repository. In this era, at this stage, the most suitable prescriptions for him were the Ling Ji Strong Blood Soup and the Yang Sui Pill. But looking at reality, even the simplest soup requires professional tools. Just a slight difference in heat and dosage will create a completely different effect. Lu Shang now needed a professional pharmaceutical room, but building one himself was impossible. The money he currently had was not enough to meet this need. Lu Shang looked up at the pharmacy in front of him. Since he couldn't create a lab for himself right now, he would try to see if he could rent equipment from the pharmacy. Life is not a dream. The pharmacy owner naturally refused outright. What are you kidding? The pharmaceutical room is an important place in the pharmacy. Do you want to tour our pharmacy's secret recipes? I'm not stupid enough to let you in. With that, he angrily slammed the door shut and told Lu Shang to get lost. This was already the 7th pharmacy that had refused and driven him away. As expected, this method wouldn't work at all. Lu Shang looked at the backpack in his hand. He had already bought enough ingredients for the Ling Ji Strong Blood Soup, even more than enough. He looked at the card in his hand. It contained not just 30,000 yuan, as Teacher Zhong had said before, but 80,000. Lu Shang guessed that the teacher must have thought 30,000 was too little, so he added some more money for him. Lu Shang kept walking and thinking, unconsciously straying into a desolate and deserted place. He was planning to buy some cheap tools online to test when another pharmacy appeared before him. Living in this land for 18 years, Lu Shang had never known that a pharmacy could emerge in this seemingly abandoned area. Lu Shang opened the door and entered, but the owner paid little attention to him, still engrossed in listening to music. He didn't care who came or went. The blonde owner, with 3 lines shaved into his head, simply told Lu Shang to go in, pick his items, and bring them to him for payment. Lu Shang was still trying to explain to this guy that he wasn't here to buy medicine. But before he could finish, the guy continued with his previous words, completely ignoring this customer. Don't even think about buying and then running off, okay? My store is full of cameras. They capture everything clearly. Lu Shang narrowed his eyes and frowned, looking at the dazed guy in front of him. In all the pharmacies he had been to, no matter how bad the attitude was, they would at least politely approach the customer and ask what they needed. But this guy, he put on a face that clearly showed he didn't want to do business, which annoyed Lu Shang immensely. The guy was still engrossed in watching pretty girls shaking their hips on TikTok, squinting his eyes without knowing that the customer in front of him was about to teach him a lesson he wouldn't forget if he continued like this. Lu Shang pressed his hand onto the blonde guy's phone, interrupting his drooling pleasure. He jumped up as if ready to fight. Damn it, do you want to die? But before he could show off for even a second, Lu Shang leaned in, immediately shutting him down. Keep your mouth shut, unless you want to only be able to eat nutritious porridge from now on. Now, this guy finally knew fear. Sweat beaded lightly on his face as he softly asked Lu Shang what he was looking for. Lu Shang maintained his imposing demeanor, slamming his hand on the table and saying, I'm here to ask you something. Does your pharmacy have a compounding room? Although the salesman's face was pale with fear, he still raised his voice and asked Lu Shang, what if it does? And what if it doesn't? At this moment, Lu Shang's attitude did a complete 180-degree turn. He smiled and asked, if it does, I want to discuss a business deal with you. The guy compromised and led Lu Shang to the compounding room in his pharmacy. But before entering, he blocked the door and clarified once more, I'll only let Lu Shang use it for a maximum of 3 hours. And one more thing, before he could speak, Lu Shang interrupted him, pulling out a card very skillfully and softly saying, pay up front, right? The blonde guy's eyes lit up at the sight of money. He invited Lu Shang inside, practically ready to put him on a pedestal. Make yourself at home, haha. And inside, he began to put on gloves and a professional lab coat to start his first compounding session. This was also the first time he had refined medicine like this. First, he had to start with processing the ingredients. Lu Sheng held a mutated green lizard in his hand. The first step was to separate the scales of this lizard, keeping it alive, then pouring in a neutralizer to compound the medicine at a concentration of 35%, keeping it at a stable temperature. Next, he would condense moonstone by using a laser to adjust visible light radiation. He would divide the ingredients into two forms, fluid and liquid, then collect them and proceed to cool them. Finally, he would cut 30 grams of rock salt, fragrant spring tree root, and mutated tree root, which were extremely hard but also needed controlled dosage. The ingredients had been processed. After the conditioning sequence, he proceeded to adjust the medicinal properties. Based on the proportions and reaction order, he began mixing. After these steps, he finally obtained the white blood essence tonic. Lu Sheng poured out a galaxy pink solution. This was his achievement. Success. I can't believe it worked on the first try. This is a tonic from 1,000 years in the future. But whether it was truly successful or not could only be known after using it. Lu Sheng immediately drank the entire preparation he had just created. After drinking it, he felt no special sensation or taste. Lu Sheng wondered if his experiment had failed. But just as he thought that, his body immediately began to transform. Lu Sheng collapsed to the floor and let out a loud scream. Then, exhausted, he slumped to the ground. He hadn't expected the medicinal power to be so strong. Just now, it had completely replenished the deficiency of qi and blood caused by leveling up too quickly for a long time. There was even some left over. Lu Sheng thought, such good efficacy, and it doesn't even cause any harm to the body. It's truly unimaginable. Not only that, the blood-strengthening tonic had such powerful effects and also had skin-beautifying properties, such as increasing skin elasticity and shrinking pores. This was clearly the crystallization of 10,000 years of martial arts wisdom. While he was absorbed in his new success, there were continuous knocks on the door from outside. Lu Sheng went to open the door, grumbling at the blonde guy. "It's not time yet. Why are you knocking?" The blonde guy, face full of panic, shouted, "No time to explain. Go quickly. Go through the back door. Our boss is back." Outside, a beautiful, wealthy woman dressed in stylish clothes was leisurely entering the store. This blonde guy had really brought trouble upon himself. The woman carried a box of test tubes, inside which were green, red, purple, yellow, pink, orange, gray, and white medicinal products. The girl took a blue tube and drank it first to see how it was. But after drinking it, she was utterly disappointed. No good. It really can't be taken. The medicine's reaction is too low. It's completely ineffective. The girl was utterly helpless. Martial arts was developing very quickly now, along with the increasingly rapid development of the pharmaceutical industry. Every day, new and better remedies were researched, and old ones were discarded. The girl was the young lady of the He family. The He family was now growing weaker because of its overly conservative and outdated views, stubbornly clinging to the old and refusing to embrace new ideas. All the remedies at Hang Tian Duong Hoa were old formulas from hundreds of years ago. They fundamentally lacked competitiveness in the market. If she continued not to find new remedies, the enterprise her father personally entrusted to her would simply cease to exist. Missy became more and more helpless the more she thought about it, to the point of gritting her teeth. But currently, she lacked the ability to research, so she could only cooperate with the old pharmacist. The new remedy that Master Zhang had created this time, she absolutely had to get it. Whether the He family could hold on depended on this time. As Missy walked in, the blonde guy had already pushed Lu Sheng out. He rushed out excitedly to greet his boss. "Missy, weren't you going to the market next door today?" Missy paid no attention to this young man, instead walking directly into the compounding room in annoyance. Although the blonde guy looked scared on the outside, his soul was completely captivated by the girl. In his eyes, Missy was always beautiful and elegant, her appearance beyond compare. In his eyes, this girl was forever a goddess, to the point where he even fantasized about a home and children. Just as he was reaching the peak of his dream, a shout pulled him back to reality. "Ma Fei, did you secretly bring someone into my pharmacy?" The guy was still half asleep and muttered that Missy's angry look was also beautiful, which made the girl furious. The guy Ma Fei still denied it. But Missy didn't have time to argue with him. The girl slapped her forehead and immediately chased Ma Fei away. "Get out tomorrow. You don't need to come anymore." Missy in the pharmacy was really eager to fight someone. The girl threw Lu Sheng's worn shirt into the trash while cleaning the room and cursing to herself because all the test tubes now had to be re-washed and then disinfected. The more she cleaned, the more things piled up. But suddenly, the box containing the mutated green lizard caught her. This even used activated gas to activate the green lizard after all. This is a valuable item, isn't it? But on second thought, maybe this was just her wild fantasy. Perhaps that person just wanted to research the medicine himself. And to research, one must have a deep understanding of pharmacology. She thought that Lu Sheng didn't even have a pharmacy. Was he dreaming of getting rich overnight? But speaking of which, this girl herself is now pinning her hopes on such intangible things. After cleaning everything on the table, She looked down and saw a broken test tube. She felt even more helpless and couldn't help but complain, casually entering someone else's pharmacy, casually using their tools, and then dropping things to add to the fun. The girl bent down to pick up the broken pieces and found something wrong. The shape of the pharmaceutical that escaped, and its smell. Could it be Ningyu Stone and Rock Evolved Spring Tree? It was the first time she had seen a combination of these two things. The girl touched it, dabbed a drop, and then put it in her mouth to taste. The reaction was unexpectedly beyond imagination. Ma Fei was dragging his suitcase away after being ruthlessly kicked out by the goddess. He sighed regretfully. This stinker ruined me. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone for that small amount of money. He didn't expect that just because of this, his relationship with the goddess would end. Ma Fei regretfully turned around to look at the pharmacy and pray to the heavens. Oh heavens, let me see the goddess one more time, even if it's just once. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Ma Fei saw Miss He rushing towards him, waving her hand and calling him back. Ma Fei, don't go, stop quickly. Ma Fei saw Miss He calling him and was moved to tears. He immediately threw everything in his hands and ran towards the beauty. I knew you cared about me. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just stay by your side. You are my eternal home. Ma Fei spread his arms, ready to hug his darling, when suddenly Miss He grabbed his collar and shouted furiously. Who was in my pharmacy just now? I need to see that person immediately. Ma Fei was shaken by Miss He until his soul left his body. Miss He demanded that if he could find Lu Sheng, he could continue working. Even his salary would be doubled in his days. Ma Fei fortunately managed to say that he had Lu Sheng's contact information. Hearing this, Missy was as if she had found gold and quickly snatched his phone, and she cruelly threw him aside. God knows how much she needed to find Lu Sheng. The formula you just created has a blood-nourishing effect 10 times higher than medicines currently sold for $100,000 on the market today. Moreover, after trying it, I also saw its effects like beauty, skin whitening, and muscle gain. The main ingredients are common materials. The capital invested is less than 5,000 yuan. This might even be a new type of medicine for the world. She picked up the phone and called Lu Sheng. Finally, she had met the person she had always been looking for. This was Zhang's opportunity. Lu Sheng was still diligently practicing after recently being replenished with energy. Indeed, Heng Xing Lian Tea art truly lives up to its reputation as a 10th and 11th grade cultivation method from 10,000 years later. It's unbelievable that it's such a huge invention for the potential of the human body. If this continues, your body might actually create a star. And not only that, the natural breathing method is also very miraculous. It has a super strong ability. If this breathing method wasn't combined, the effectiveness of the body refinement art wouldn't be as good as it is. Your qi and blood have increased greatly, and the effect of Ling Ji Zhuang Shui Sheng is also very good. You just made 12 bottles. With your current physique, drinking 2 bottles a day is enough, but in 6 days, you'll have to figure out how to make more. Your phone wouldn't stop ringing. The ringtone blared. Li, won't you stay here with the nation's heartthrob, Jack? 5 million. Lu Sheng went out, picked up the phone, and immediately pressed the button. As soon as the call connected, Missy quickly spoke, as if afraid it would be hung up. Master. Hello, excuse me for bothering you. I am Hisu Su, the person in charge of Hangtian Duong. I have seen the medicine you left. It is a product that will open a new era. Hisu Su offered to cooperate with Lu Sheng. He agreed immediately, but scheduled a meeting for a week later. Then he hung up, leaving the girl with a stiff, sealed face. You look like you just got stood up. Hisu Su now desperately wanted to meet this mysterious person, but that person was still very arrogant. With her remembering something, she shook Ma Fei awake. She demanded that he find Lu Sheng immediately from now on. You are responsible for finding the master for me as quickly as possible. If you find that master before 6 days, for every day earlier, you get a reward of 10,000 yuan, calculated accordingly. Hearing about the generous reward, Ma Fei's spirits immediately lifted. The boss must keep her word. But recalling Lu Sheng's appearance, Ma Fei asked Hisu Su if there was a misunderstanding because the person who came to him to borrow the pharmacy looked only in his teens. He looked like a student, which suddenly made Hisu Su feel confused. She imagined a scholarly male student wearing glasses researching medicinal herbs to produce quality pharmaceuticals. Hisu Su began to doubt humanity. If Lu Sheng was only a student and had already developed that kind of medicine, then who on earth was he? Lu Sheng continued to train diligently every day. The work of fighting zombies in the rain was repeated every day. Another zombie was knocked out by Lu Sheng with an uppercut to the chin. The pain was indescribable. But that wasn't Lu Sheng's main goal today. His goal today was that super huge zombie over there in terms of size. When Lu Sheng stood next to the zombie, he only reached its knees. But he wanted to see if a first-level martial artist like him could fight a fourth-level martial artist zombie. Like it before he could do anything, Lu Sheng was hit by a love punch from it, causing him slight injury. This zombie is really strong. Its strength is at least twice that of Lu Sheng. The zombie continued to charge forward to attack. But this time, Lu Sheng dodged the attack instead. He showed it what's what. Lu Sheng, at some point, had gotten behind it and kicked its back hard, making it squeal like a pig being slaughtered. The zombie, attacked from behind, quickly turned around, intending to hit Lu Sheng. But you were faster. You lifted your leg high and brought down a full-force kick to its head, knocking it out instantly. Finally, I took this one down. I thought it would be easy, and it really was. This zombie was a sacrificing warrior on the battlefield when it was alive. Because zombies like these are not beasts, Lu Sheng can easily accumulate experience. They're simply people who have died. Like everyday occurrences, the zombie's memories from when it was alive began to invade Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng closed his eyes, accepting the zombie's memories and power like a machine. Done fighting, done accepting. Lu Sheng then realized this zombie was actually a level 5 martial artist. No wonder its punch made him swoon, thinking back if it hadn't been missing an arm and had no brain, only using the remaining combat instinct in its body to fight him. Lu Sheng clearly couldn't have defeated it. He had been practicing Starfall body tempering art, natural breathing method, and crystal wall visualization for almost a week now. Through the rapid increase in chi and blood in the spirit root state blood ascension, there were also memories absorbed that gave him a special punching technique. If he could combine the secret techniques in Starfall body tempering art and the breathing method, then his power could erupt 10 times, even 100 times. At this moment, the other zombies, smelling human scent, also began to creep closer, unaware that the apocalypse awaited them. Truly brainless creatures. They just jumped at Lu Sheng while he was activating his new energy, preparing to unleash it to show them what a festival was. Lu Sheng stomped on the ground, and all the nearby zombies started crying uncontrollably. He warned them not to come close, but none of them listened, so they had to suffer. What else could he do? Returning to daily life today, Lu Sheng continued to go to the martial arts hall to check and see if his recent dream had helped him improve. As soon as he entered, the receptionist recognized him. The girl rested her chin on her hand, not enough to ask this young man, "Why are you here again? Is it because the chi and blood test is coming up soon?" Sister, chi and blood is not something that can increase in a short time. You know, I know, Grandma. This is something Lu Sheng knows better than anyone, but that applies to normal people, not him. Lu Sheng raised his hand to scratch his head, politely replying to the receptionist, "Haha, that's right, I want to make faster progress." The sister saw a handsome guy and smiled widely in her head. She thought she had met this handsome young man, Lu Sheng, twice this month. Alone, normal people usually only get tested once every half a month, or even half a year. Even if schools pay attention to student performance, it's only during monthly exams. Haha, room 200 is still free. You can go in yourself. Good luck. As soon as he left, Lu Sheng mumbled, if it weren't for his strength increasing too quickly, he wouldn't bother coming here for tests so often. First, it should still be a blood test. Unexpectedly, it reached 1.6. Even Lu Sheng was surprised, not expecting his performance to increase so much it even surpassed the standard for a level 2 martial artist. Lu Sheng happily thought to himself, this is actually true. The supreme martial arts from 1,000 years later, combined with the advanced supplements of the future world, it would be strange if it didn't increase much. After the blood test was done, he moved on to the combat power test to see if there was any progress. Lu Sheng rolled up his sleeves and prepared to give that poor robot a punch to the face. He landed a blow to the robot's head, as if the martial arts hall was about to replace it with a new one. The score displayed was 3,137. This number was too high, even exceeding the standard by 3 times. Lu Sheng was also surprised by his own abilities. This could also be due to his punching technique, but it's not just that, because if it were, his extreme combat power would be immeasurable. Lu Sheng decided to try again to see if there was anything more to it. This time, Lu Sheng used all his abilities to test, and the result was incredibly frightening. When everything was done, he walked out to leave. The receptionist saw Lu Sheng come out and quickly struck up a conversation. After all, he's a handsome guy. If I don't talk to him and miss the chance, I won't sleep well tonight. Because of regret, young man, are you done with all the tests? You look like you're very satisfied with the results, right? Lu Sheng smiled and replied, that's right, very satisfied. After that, the two said goodbye before leaving. When the receptionist smiled, the son was just a name. After Lu Sheng left, the receptionist's sister smiled to herself, silently complimenting, Lu Sheng always acts cool, but when he smiles, he's quite handsome. All of the sister's expressions just now were seen by her 2 younger siblings. This pink-haired girl is Gi Duong, the eldest daughter of the owner of this Hong Shuya Martial Arts Hall. Following Gi Duong is her younger brother. Gi Swang teased the receptionist, I just brought the boy back from his herbal bath, and I saw you're infatuated. Look, the receptionist, caught off guard, quickly denied it, saying that just now it was just a normal high school student. She didn't even know what infatuated meant, but she still had to admit Lu Sheng was really good at attracting girls. The younger brother in the back, hearing the 2 sisters mention handsome guys, shook his head in exasperation, saying being handsome doesn't do anything. You can't cook it and eat it in this society. Martial arts is everything. This boy even showed disdain for Lu Sheng, saying that looking at Lu Sheng's appearance, one could tell he was just from an ordinary family. No matter how many more tests he took, it would be useless. Gi Swan glanced at her younger brother. From a young age, this boy had drunk all sorts of kidney and yang strengthening tonics. Although he hadn't cultivated, yet his chi and blood value was already twice that of ordinary people. This guy is now cultivating all sorts of martial arts, constantly widening the gap with his peers, so it's not hard to understand why he can be so arrogant. Gi Swang was annoyed with her younger brother, so she punched him on the head and scolded him, "You stop comparing yourself to children from ordinary families." Then she sternly reminded Kwang Ni, "With better resources, you should work even harder to cultivate. Don't be arrogant all day over your small achievements." The pink-haired boy was hit by Gi Swang until his head swelled up. He could only sit down and cry, not daring to resist his sister. While crying, he suddenly became competitive and smiled again, grabbing Gi Swang's arm. "Sister Gi Swang, I want to discuss something with you. I want to see the test results of that person who was just here." Gi Swang didn't know why her younger brother wanted to see Lu Shang's results, so the boy explained that Lu Shang looked a few years older than him and was probably still a student, so he wanted to see if his hard work and training was actually effective. Gi Swang couldn't refuse her younger brother's pestering, but before opening it, she told the boy to remember that he was just a normal person, reminding him not to be too complacent. The receptionist sister also gave them the results, saying that only one person came for testing today, so they could see it from her desk. Gi Swang took the tablet. She read Lu Shang's name. It seemed he was indeed a student, but her expression changed instantly. After seeing Lu Shang's scores, all three of them looked horrified, especially the arrogant young boy from before. Now he was so shocked, he couldn't stand up and fell to the ground. "Is this machine broken?" The receptionist affirmed that there was no way the machine was broken at this martial arts hall, because it was always regularly serviced. Moreover, it had just been repaired yesterday, so there would definitely be no error here. Gi Swang's expression suddenly became tense, saying, "That means Lu Shang's performance is real." She immediately yelled, "Xiaoling, do we have his address or phone number?" Unfortunately, Lu Shang was not a member, so he had no registration information. He only frequently came to the martial arts hall to measure his abilities. The receptionist quickly ran off to search, guessing that Lu Shang must live nearby. Gi Swang ordered her to contact any available staff to collect all information on students in the area. They must quickly find Lu Shang's whereabouts. Gi Swang once again looked at the tablet screen, muttering, "Lu Shang, I will definitely find you." Lu Shang was already comfortably in a taxi, heading elsewhere. Before getting out, the driver showed great fondness for him. He gave a thumbs up and said, "Talking to you makes me happy. Next time, if we have a chance to meet, I will definitely introduce my daughter to you." Lu Shang got out of the car, shaking his head, thinking this uncle was too enthusiastic. He wished he had just said he was in a martial arts association to take the level 2 martial artist assessment. Then the uncle would surely think he was crazy and wouldn't bother talking to him anymore. In front of the building, he was about to open the door and step in when someone ran out from inside, almost crying, "No way, my combat power at home clearly surpassed 150. How could this be?" This guy seemed to be under a spell, kneeling in front of the building with his hands clasped high. Everyone around, witnessing this scene, began to discuss the equipment at the Martial Arts Association is official compared to other machines outside. It's naturally more accurate. That guy was flattered too much every day. So today, he came here and was too shocked to believe the truth. Lu Shang was excited to hear that the machines here were more accurate. Finally, he had found a place where he could truly understand his own strength. Lu Shang entered the lobby and approached the reception. "Hello, can you tell me which way to go for the martial artist assessment?" The receptionist didn't even look at the customer's face. The girl was still busy signing a stack of documents. She handed Lu Shang a form telling him to fill it out first, then go to room 5203 for the assessment. Lu Shang obediently did as told, but when he arrived at the room he needed and opened the door, he couldn't help but be surprised by the sight before him. There must have been hundreds of people before him. This team is incredibly large, no joke. I thought I was the only one coming here, but who knew everyone else was also rushing to test themselves? Lu Shang stepped inside. He no longer had time to waste, and coming here had already taken too much time now. He really didn't know what to do. Feeling frustrated, he then overheard two people above discussing a beautiful girl who was also present here. Lu Shang also glanced over and saw that it was indeed a very young girl, but perhaps her abilities were not ordinary. They must be quite extensive. Lu Shang observed everyone around. Most of the people in line were around 15 years old, so he was considered young, yet he didn't expect that girl to look even younger than him. The atmosphere was silent. Suddenly, a huge, gigantic man walked in, causing everyone around to look up. "Excuse me." Coming through at this moment, it was a young man's turn at the testing area. He was confident he would bring back the best results to make his girlfriend proud, and the girlfriend next to him was also very enthusiastically cheering for her boyfriend. But as the two were immersed in their joy and in their own world, the man from earlier simply used one finger to gently push the two away, leaving them stunned. The young man turned his head and saw that the person pushing him was a giant, and his eyes nearly popped out in shock. And it wasn't just him, but everyone around also exclaimed at the man's muscular body. His girlfriend, seeing how arrogant this guy was, became extremely annoyed. She quickly rushed forward to demand justice for her beloved boyfriend. "Hey, who are you? Don't you understand there are ranks and rules you have to cue?" The big guy looked at the girl, finding her annoying, and didn't bother to reply. Her boyfriend behind couldn't stop her, because he himself couldn't possibly stand against that guy. Well, sometimes it's better to swallow your pride. The girl couldn't take it anymore and shrieked, "Don't think for a second that just because you're big, you can break the rules." As she passionately scolded him, an employee nearby casually interjected, "Actually, this gentleman can." It was only then that the employee noticed his pass. He should be the first to be tested because he is a third-grade martial artist. Hearing this, the woman immediately got scared. Her boyfriend, however, was so terrified he nearly vomited blood. A third-grade martial artist is an incredibly rare position. In the entire city of Bakha, barely a dozen people have reached that level. Lu Sheng thought to himself the strongest martial artists are naturally entitled to privileges. The big guy began to step onto the platform for the test. The girlfriend earlier still felt indignant for her boyfriend, muttering about that guy. He's just a third-grade martial artist. What's the big deal? It's not like everyone who participates becomes a third-grade martial artist. What's there to be proud of? But as soon as the results came out, the girl was surprised again. When the man's blood value reached 107, the staff in charge there was sweating profusely while taking notes, but due to the nature of the job, he still had to continue saying next will be the second item. This second time was even more terrifying and intense than the first. With just one punch from him, everyone present fell down. The area below began to become very chaotic. No matter what, Lu Sheng still stood firm as he was at the beginning. It truly wasn't in vain for all his diligent training. The combat power index test result was 10,831. The staff congratulated Zhao Chongfeng. From this day forward, he was officially a third-grade martial artist in Baya City, recognized by the Martial Artist Association. He would also receive 30,000 yuan every month. His business concluded, he turned back and looked down, only to see that everyone had fallen save for two figures who remained steadfastly on their feet. The beautiful girl earlier couldn't help but praise that gentleman. Lu Sheng suddenly spoke from behind. Is this the level of a third-grade martial artist? Hearing Lu Sheng's words, the girl was extremely surprised, thinking to herself, this guy is too arrogant. He just managed to stand firm against someone else's punch. What's there to be proud of? Lu Sheng stepped forward and asked the nearby staff if it could be his turn next, since there was no one else in line anyway. Everyone was now greatly affected by the previous punch. When the staff saw Lu Sheng still so calm, he also showed interest, praising his excellent mindset. He smiled and said, all right, next. Lu Sheng began the test. Lu Sheng began the testing process by touching the glowing orb. The staff behind kindly reminded him not to be nervous, just maintain a normal state. The screen displayed Lu Sheng's blood chi value as 105.7. The staff who had just reminded him now felt a chill down his spine. Even those below, especially the girl earlier, she widened her eyes and her mouth hung open as if her jaw was about to drop. This guy is only 17, 18 years old. What the hell? Zhao Chongfeng, standing in a corner, couldn't help but think, can it really be true? A kid who's only 17 or 18, already a second-grade martial artist? He's so damn young, yet his blood chi is incredibly potent. Next up was the combat power index test. A staff member advised him not to let Zhao Chongfeng's previous punch affect him. Just punch freely until you're satisfied, they said. But Lu Sheng's unexpected reply left the staff stunned. Haha, thanks, but there's no need. One punch is enough. Saying so, Lu Sheng used all his ability to deliver the most thunderous punch. The entire room suddenly turned purple before the astonished eyes of everyone. After Lu Sheng delivered a punch that utterly shattered the power testing machine, a terrifying roar echoed, unleashing a massive surge of energy that instantly knocked several first-grade martial artists to the ground. Panicked screams erupted, and the entire scene spiraled into unprecedented chaos. Even Zhao Chongfeng, observing the events unfold, couldn't help but frown, clearly taken aback by Lu Sheng's monstrous strength. Yang Yin, who had brushed him aside before, now struggled to withstand this power. At this moment, the display showed the Combat Power Index. The Martial Artist Association staff, seeing Lu Sheng's index, was wide-eyed in astonishment, stammering out 15,709. Seeing the score displayed, Lu Sheng was satisfied, thinking to himself, after breaking through the bottleneck in punching techniques, plus constant star force, plus natural breathing, the combat power directly increased tenfold the blood chi standard. Is this the allure of martial arts techniques? The Martial Artist Association staff finally recovered from the shock. He trembled and said, Student Lu, congratulations on passing the first-grade martial artist test. No, that's not right. Your strength can completely surpass a second-grade martial artist, even a third-grade martial artist. The staff became more and more flustered as he spoke finally. He said excitedly, I'm sorry I can't assess you right now, but rest assured I will report this to the higher-ups of the association. The Martial Artist Association will not bury any talent. Oh my God, a genius, especially one like you. I'm reporting this immediately. Even if it costs me my entire career, I swear you'll get a satisfactory answer. You can rest assured. Lu Sheng watched, bewildered, as the staff member frantically snatched the results paper and dashed off, utterly clueless about what was happening. Watching the staff members retreating back disappear into the distance, Lu Sheng wondered, can I go home now? Suddenly, a large figure with surging killing intent stood right behind Lu Sheng. 561. He became wary and immediately asked, so, is there something you need from me? 562. It was Zhao Zhangfeng, his face gloomy, reaching out his hand. Seeing Zhao Zhangfeng extend his hand, Lu Sheng was quite puzzled by this action. 563. His face was fierce as he introduced himself, Zhao Zhangfeng. 564. Lu Cheng saw his appearance and said nothing, looking at him with a provocative gaze. 565. He reached out his hand, ready to show his strength, Lu Cheng. Unexpectedly, the fierce-faced man, Zhao Zhangfeng, smiled happily after Lu Cheng shook his hand. 566. Everyone in the audience also scrambled to shake hands and take photos with Lu Cheng. Hello, Brother Lu, I'm Wang Dameng. Shake my hand. Brother Lu, I'm Hu Changming. Can I bother you for a few minutes? Brother Lu, please look this way. 567. Brother Lu, please stop. Lu Cheng saw the crowd rushing towards him so excitedly and ran away in fear. The crowd still wouldn't let go and chased after him. First, that Zhao Zhangfeng snatched ahead. A third-level martial artist's mind truly changes quickly. 568. They chased after Lu Cheng, shouting Brother Lu loudly. Outside the Martial Artist Association, Lu Qinghe and two friends were also waiting for their friend to finish the exam. She worriedly asked, Yang Shui still hasn't come out. I wonder if it went smoothly. Feng Fanfan said confidently, Don't worry. Isn't a level 1 martial artist certification simple for a genius like her? Lu Qinghe also agreed, that's true. At this moment, she saw Lu Shang walking out of the Martial Artist Association building, which surprised her. 569. Qinghe called out loudly. Lu Sheng turned around and saw Qinghe and her friends standing nearby. 570. He quickly walked over and asked Qinghe, why are you here? 571. Lu Qinghe frowned and said, I should be asking you that. You don't go to school. You spend all day lying around sleeping at home. What are you doing at the association now? Lu Sheng thought to himself, it's one thing not to go to school. But how does she even know that I spend most of my time sleeping in my room? Lu Sheng seemed a little embarrassed and covered his mouth. Cough, cough. I'm here for some important business. What about you all? Do you have something to do at the Martial Artist Association? 572. Feng Fanfan smiled and said, Hello, Brother Lu. I'm Qinghe's friend. My name is Feng Fanfan. My friends call me Fanfan. This is Su Ruo. Today, we came with senior sister Yang Yin to take the test. 573. Attracted by Lu Shang's beauty, Feng Fanfan did not hesitate to praise him. Brother Lu is really handsome. He's completely different from what Qinghe usually says. 574. Qinghe saw Feng Fanfan almost forgetting her friend and angrily turned back, shouting, Hey, you too. Lu Shang, flattered, smiled brightly, Haha, thank you. Lu Qinghe, standing next to them, threatened, You guys are great. Have you forgotten who helped you every step of the way at school? Feng Fanfan quickly apologized, Of course it's you, our old mother. Seeing Lu Qinghe arguing with her friends, he reached out and patted her head. Well, I'm going home first. Goodbye. Qinghe's friends also said goodbye to Lu Shang. Goodbye, Brother Lu. 575. Seeing Lu Shang leave, Feng Fanfan turned to tease, You two siblings have a pretty good relationship. Lu Qinghe, seeing herself defending her brother, fumed with anger. Not good at all. Are you two traitors blind? At this moment, Su Ruo shouted, senior sister Yang Yin. She's out. 576. The classmates stopped arguing and ran towards Yang Yin, asking with concern, Senior sister Yang, senior sister, how was it? Did you pass? 577. Yang Yin sighed in frustration, Oh, don't even mention it. Something happened, so the entire test had to be stopped. We'll probably have to wait until the afternoon. Worry appeared on everyone's faces. Feng Fanfan quickly asked, What kind of incident? An incident that could cause the test to stop. 578. Yang Yin then remembered the young man from earlier. His strength and ability are truly terrifying. A monster. He's not just passionate about his profession. That male student is clearly the same age as me, but he has a chi and blood value of 15.7. His combat power even surpasses a level 3 martial artist, reaching over 15,000. 579. Haha, I wasted so much time thinking my own talent wasn't bad, but meeting that guy this time, I realized my little bit of talent is ridiculous. 580. Everyone gasped in shock as Yang Yin recounted the incident. Feng Fanfan quickly asked, Senior sister Yang, that's right, senior sister, what's his name? Do you know? Yang Yin thought for a moment, then frowned and said, his name is Lu Shang. 581. Hearing the name Lu Shang, Lu Qinghe and her friends froze. She couldn't believe it. She remembered her brother's casual demeanor and silently asked, My brother. 582. Lu Shang was on his way home, eating a hot bun, when he suddenly saw a group of people in black searching for something around the city, causing a commotion. 583. Have you asked over there yet? Go now. Several aunties returning from the market saw this scene and gathered to whisper, Who is it? Causing such a big stir. I heard Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy is looking for someone. Who exactly provoked Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy? How unlucky. Those martial artists are fierce. If they're found, they'll probably have their legs broken. Lu Sheng ate his bun and thought to himself, Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy. It seems they're looking for the person from the last test. The people there are also fierce. Forget it. It doesn't concern me anyway. At this moment, his phone kept ringing. The ringtone blared, not answering the phone. What's the point of hitting him? 584. The caller was Ma Fei, an employee of the Hang Shantang. 585. Lu Shang thought, Hang Shantang is calling again. I should be a bit indifferent to them. After all, every future medicinal product can easily be exchanged for a large amount of wealth. But do they have that qualification? I'll have to investigate them once before I can decide. 586. Returning home, he entered his room and decided to open the future AI to check. Lu breathed and activated the device. A green light appeared. Clothes. Activate. 587. Lu Shang then ordered the AI, investigate my life history. The AI quickly displayed Lu Shang's basic information panel. Yes, I will check for you. 588. Basic information. Lu Shang. Gender, male. Lifespan, June 297, martial arts. July 383, martial arts. Martial arts strength, level 6 martial artist. Usable authority, level 2. Life experience, at 18 years old, became a level 2 martial artist, causing a sensation in Baihe City. Afterwards, under the recommendation of the Baihe City Martial Artist Association, participated in the Dongning Province Genius Training Camp. Ranked in the top 20 of the training. In the same year, ranked first in the entire city, 32nd in the entire province. University entrance exam results ranked 145th nationwide. Entered Dongning Martial University. 3 years later, graduated from Dongning Martial University. 5 years later, identity changed to commission officer. Established a family martial arts academy in Baihe City. At 45 years old, promoted to level 6 martial artist. At 50 years old, failed to break through to level 7 grandmaster. July 338, martial arts. Died in the beast attack incident of Baihe City. Lived to be 87 years old. Marital status. Married, 2 daughters, 1 son. Highest military rank, captain. No outstanding contributions. Historical evaluation, 2 stars. 589. After reading the summary of his life, Lu Shang was quite surprised. Seeing his own future, he silently summarized, at 18 years old, he became a level 2 martial artist, causing a sensation in Baihe City. Afterwards, under the recommendation of the Baihe City Martial Artist Association, he participated in the Dongning Province Genius Training Camp. Ranked in the top 20 of the training. 590. 3 years later, graduated from Dongning Martial University. Served. 5 years later, identity changed to commission officer. Established a family martial arts academy in Baihe City. 591. At 45 years old, promoted to level 6 martial artist. At 50 years old, failed to break through to level 7 grandmaster. July 338, martial arts. Died in the beast attack incident of Baihe City. Lived to be 87 years old. 592. After briefly outlining his life, he silently concluded, as expected, the future can be changed. At least my future can also be changed. A week ago, I was a level 4 martial artist, living to 37. Now I've become a level 6 martial artist, living to over 80. Finally, there's even hope for the level 7 grandmaster realm. However, it's still very far away. These small changes have no significance to the world or to the future. 593. To change the fate of a nation, to develop the trajectory of the entire future world for 10,000 years, requires immense power. 594. Quasi-Grandmaster level 6 is negligible. Even Grandmaster level 7, Grandmaster level 8, or even Martial Saint level 9. In such a future, they're also very strong. 595. If one wants to shake destiny and change such an outcome, only by reaching the peak of martial arts, breaking through level 10, or even level 11, can there be a glimmer of hope. Although the hope is very small, I have chosen this path and will not turn back. 596. In the office of the Baihe Martial Arts Association president, Xiao Yuha, he was diligently practicing calligraphy. 597. In front of him was a chat screen with the old leader. The old leader spoke, pure light shining. Same speed, soaring. Chi rising to form arrow. Intent moves, spirit solidifies. Spirit rotates, chi forms. Form follows chi, rising. Beautiful writing. One can see the robust spiritual strength of President Xiao. Stepping into the 7th stage Grandmaster realm is probably only a matter of time. If President Xiao could be so dedicated to teaching, it would be even better. 598. The old leader's criticism made President Zhao's hand slip, causing his brushstroke to go awry. He chuckled softly. Haha. Old leader, please don't mock me anymore. Why wouldn't I want more martial arts geniuses to appear in our Baihe? But you also know that Baihe has not had a martial arts family inheritance for many years. 599. Nor does it have enough abundant resources to provide. Those with a bit of talent will find ways to leave. I am truly powerless. 600. The old leader suddenly lowered his voice, remained silent for a moment, then said, President Xiao, It's almost time for the training camp. We haven't sent anyone for many years. Such a large Baiha city cannot say there are no achievements. Not being able to send anyone is the greatest humiliation. This time, no matter what, you must save face for our Baiha, understand? The old man gave cold instructions to President Xiao and immediately hung up, not allowing President Xiao to say another word. After ending the call, Xiao Yuha crumpled the paper in his hand in anger and shouted, "Damn it! Why wouldn't I want to develop talents and achieve greater progress?" He sat down at his desk, gritting his teeth and clenching his hands, which were trembling with anger, thinking if I could sit in a senior position, possessing those resources, who would sit around writing these divine words? Promotion is hopeless. While he was in despair, the secretary suddenly rushed in. Bang! She quickly called out, "President, the martial artist examination side. Something happened over there." President Xiao frowned and snapped. "Why are you in such a hurry? Don't you even know how to knock? What's wrong?" The secretary quickly came over, holding a stack of documents, and handed President Xiao a survey report. "Sorry, this matter is really too urgent. The examiner just brought back very important news." He appeared. A level 2 martial artist appeared. 18 years old, and his combat power has reached 10,000. President Zhao's eyes widened in surprise, and he quickly snatched the tablet from the secretary's hand, shouting, "Quickly show me the video." The secretary was also slightly startled by his reaction and quickly said, "Ah, yes, President." President Xiao stared intently at the surveillance video in astonishment. The video showed Lu Sheng taking the martial artist certification test. After careful confirmation, he exclaimed in horror, "This is the perfect law realm." The secretary standing beside him, not understanding, quickly asked, "What does that mean?" President Xiao, while intently watching Lu Sheng's movements, impatiently explained, "This is a term in our martial arts world. You're not a martial artist. You just need to know one thing. A person who has trained their fist technique to the perfect realm like him, there are no more than 10 such people in the world." Suddenly, President Xiao seemed to realize something and thought, "No, even with a perfect realm fist technique, it's impossible to reach a blood chi value of 15.7 and output a combat power of 15,000. Even if a perfect realm fist technique boosts combat power, it's at most double. 18 years old. Blood chi value is multiple times the standard combat power. A child from an ordinary family." As if realizing something, President Xiao became joyful. "It must be so. It must be so. Otherwise, it simply cannot be explained." Ha! The secretary standing next to him found it quite perplexing as he muttered something to himself and then burst out laughing. She quickly called, "President." Suddenly, the secretary was lifted into the air. President Xiao joyfully embraced her and spun her around a few times. He laughed loudly, "Haha, kid. This is a rare, genius martial artist. To think such a person could appear in our Baiha city." Ha! The secretary, being spun around by the president, became dizzy and disoriented. She shouted in vain, "President! What is a gifted martial artist?" President Xiao finally found a talent after so many years, his joy uncontainable. Cultivators of martial arts, there is a type of talent favored by the heavens. They awaken powerful abilities beyond the imagination of an ordinary person. After awakening, their blood chi will increase greatly, and they will possess unique talents. They have astonishing explosive power. Sometimes their speed is as fast as lightning. They're called gifted martial artists. President Xiao quickly put on his coat and left. Hurry. I want to personally visit Lu Sheng's home and call on his parents. Thank them for giving birth to such an excellent son. The secretary was a bit dazed after being spun around. She quickly ran after him. "Yes, President. I will go inform the driver to prepare immediately." At Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy, Miss Yishuang was also mobilizing staff to search for Lu Sheng. At this moment, the junior disciple quickly ran in, shouting, "We found him! We found him! We found him, senior sister." Yishuang quickly asked, "How is it?" The junior disciple said, panting, Lu Sheng. He's a student at Baihe Institute. His father works as a deliverman at Shunxing Logistics. His mother works as a cashier at GI Supermarket. He also has a first-year younger sister. Their family lives in Bailan Residential Area, Block 15. Yishuang said seriously and prepared to leave. Seeing Yishuang about to go find the person, the junior disciple was startled. "Why are you looking for this person, sister? Did he provoke you?" "I'm telling you, senior sister, he's just from a poor family, an ordinary family. There's no need to do this." Yishuang, seeing that the junior disciple misunderstood her intention, angrily shouted, "Do you have a mouth? It's not what you think." At this moment, Yishuang turned around to answer her phone. She seemed quite tense. "Hello? I know. I knew it would be fast. I didn't expect their movements to be so quick." The junior disciple stood alone, thinking, "It's not what I think. What kind of match is it?" After finishing the phone call, Yishuang turned back and quickly ordered, "Now, immediately go buy some valuable gifts suitable for parents, elders, and a young girl." The junior disciple was a bit dazed for a few seconds, then quickly ran off. Yes. As he ran, he thought to himself, is it really a matchmaker? Yishuang clenched the phone in her hand, thinking, I finally found you, Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng was training in his room when his younger sister, Lu Qinghe, urgently called out, Brother Lu, come out quickly. Someone is looking for you outside. Lu Sheng slowly stood up and said, I know. Coming. Lu Sheng casually put on a jacket and walked out. It's really been a long time since Qinghe called me brother. Someone is looking for me? Could it be? As soon as he stepped out of the room, he saw his entire family chatting with a few strangers. Seeing Lu Sheng come out, Lu Sheng's mother reached out and introduced, Xiao Sheng, come here quickly. This is... Before Lu Sheng's mother could finish, the man spoke up to introduce himself. Student Lu, hello. President Xiao stood up and politely extended his hand. I am Xiao Yuhe, president of the Baihe Martial Artist Association. I've specifically come here because of your examination. Lu Sheng thought to himself, the president of the Martial Arts Association. At least a quasi-grandmaster level 6. Lu Sheng also extended his hand in greeting. Hello, President Xiao. I am Lu Sheng. Seeing Lu Sheng's calm demeanor, he highly praised him. Not bad. Very calm. Just this temperament alone is rare. Lu Sheng pointed at the girl sitting next to him and asked, and this is? Lu Sheng's mother then introduced, this is Miss Yishuang from Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy. Yishuang briefly introduced herself. Hello, student Lu Sheng. We've met before at the Martial Arts Academy. I wonder if you remember. Lu Sheng nodded in greeting. Hello, Missy. After sitting down, Lu Sheng immediately got to the point. He asked President Xiao, but without doing anything, we've received so much from the association. I must reciprocate. I wonder if President Xiao needs us to do anything? President Xiao was quite surprised to see Lu Sheng so direct, then sighed. You truly broaden my horizons. He pulled a card from his jacket and said, then I'll be straightforward. We hope you can participate in the Genius Training Camp of Doning Province. Yishuang suddenly stood up in surprise. President Xiao, you said the Genius Training Camp? She said helplessly. Indeed, it's a training camp for the most gifted martial arts geniuses. But it's also a place that destroys geniuses. Our martial arts academy once had a senior brother participate in this training camp. He was full of vigor when he left. After returning, he became completely defeated, overshadowed by many. Yishuang quickly tried to stop him. Student Lu Sheng, your future is very promising. There's no need to take such a risk. President Xiao quickly advised, that's right. There is indeed a risk. It's just a place to select true heaven's chosen, the top genius in the entire city. You might also become a stumbling block for others. But you're not like that. From a moment you showed your strength and potential, your future height is absolutely not limited to here. But, student Lu Sheng, I respect your choice. What is your answer? Lu Sheng pondered in silence, then reached out and took the card. You are right. President Xiao, I also believe this is not my limit. President Xiao sighed and said, all right, I will come to pick you up in 2 days. I won't disturb you anymore now. President Xiao stood up to take his leave. We'll meet in 2 days, student Lu Sheng. 641. After Chairman Xiao left, Lu Sheng turned to ask Yin Shuang. 642. Then listen, miss, it's time to tell me why you're here. Yin Shuang turned around, saw Lu Sheng's handsome face, and immediately blushed with shyness. 643. She thought to herself, he's even more handsome than in the photos. Yin Shuang raised her hand to cover her mouth and cleared her throat. Ahem. 644. This time I came here to invite fellow student Lu Sheng to serve as an honorary disciple of our Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy, Lu Sheng asked, puzzled. 645. What does honorary disciple mean? Yin Shuang quickly clarified. It means a regular disciple who doesn't need to come, of course. You can come anytime you want. All classes and equipment are completely free. My father can even teach you personally. You'll enjoy the highest level of teaching in reality. It's just a title. Nothing more. You don't have to bear any obligations. 646. Yin Shuang secretly calculated. If we present an 18-year-old level 2 or even level 3 martial artist, our martial arts academy will become famous in Baihe City. Right? It's hard to imagine how many parents will scramble to bring their children here. 647. At this moment, Lu Sheng rejected Yin Shuang's beautiful dream bluntly. No. 648. Yin Shuang quickly stood up and added, we can discuss the benefits. Don't rush to refuse me, Lu Sheng said. Honorary member is fine. You can promote that I regularly come to your martial arts academy to train. This is indeed true. Other than that, no, I'm not your disciple, even if it's just a title. It's not okay because I don't need it. If you can accept that, then fine. If not, I'm sorry, of course. I will still come to your place for examinations later. After all, my home is quite close. 649. Yin Shuang thought for a moment and then compromised. 650. Okay, but this honorary title has been bought out by our Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy. 651. I'll send your monthly salary immediately. It will be delivered directly to your home, around 100,000 after the discussion. Yin Shuang stood up to leave. I won't bother you anymore. Goodbye. The door closed with a bang. 652. Seeing Yin Shuang leave, the whole family looked at Lu Sheng with proud eyes. Xiao Sheng, this isn't a dream. Is it? The bonus is 1 million, and the monthly salary is 100,000. Lu Sheng's father couldn't believe his eyes. He asked again, "Is that really the chairman of the Martial Artists Association? He even personally came to visit you. Xiao Sheng, when did you become a level 2 martial artist? What's going on with all this?" 653. Lu Sheng quickly took his mother's hand and said softly, "This is all true. I really have become a level 2 martial artist from now on. You don't have to work night shifts anymore." 654. Staying up late at your age is very dangerous for your body, Dad. You don't have to do heavy work anymore. How long will your back suffer now? I can earn money till you all don't have to work so hard anymore. The whole family happily hugged Lu Sheng. What a warm and happy scene. 655. At the Hanshi Hall. 656. He Lingxiu bit her finger in anger. It's been a week, not to mention his appearance. I don't even know his name. 657. She ruffled through books, one after another, her desk covered in them. Feeling helpless recently. I've searched everywhere for registered pharmacist information. I haven't found anything at all. Where did this genius pharmacist come from? Why can't I find any information? He Lingxiu gritted her teeth. Remembering the medicine Lu Sheng had made the tonic, he refined the more she analyzed the data. The more surprised she was. Not only was it several times more potent than a level 1 tonic. 658. The 2 standards of the Pharmacist Association even surpassed most level 3 tonics. Various accompanying effects reached dozens of types. Almost no side effects. The effective time of the medicine was astonishingly long, and its price was still less than 3,000 yuan. A level 3 pharmaceutical product can cost up to 100,000. This is a great new medicine that opens up a new era. 659. He Lingxiu slammed her hand on the table and shouted, "Damn it, where is this guy?" He just vanished in a thin air. Ma Fei, standing next to her, trembled in fear. 660. Suddenly, Ma Fei's jaw dropped in surprise. "Miss He, I found a master." 661. He Lingxiu stood up abruptly and asked, "What, where is he?" Ma Fei quickly pointed at the TV. He stammered, "It's him." 662. On the news was a young boy, only 18 years old. This city saw the emergence of an exceptionally talented martial arts genius yesterday, at just 18. He passed the official level 2 martial artist examination. His combat power index even exceeded the standard for a level 3 martial artist. This achievement has far surpassed and broken the record for people of the same age in our city's Martial Artists Association. 663. Let's all congratulate and cheer, and this genius is fellow student Lu Sheng, studying at Baihe Academy. After seeing Lu Sheng, He Lingxiu was dumbfounded and stumbled backward. It took her half a day to utter, "He's just a student." 664. At Shuhai City, Guhu Mountain, the tall mountains and dense trees surrounding them were covered in white mist. 665. The scenery on the mountain was also very picturesque, with peaceful clear streams. 666. Suddenly, a pure white bird perched on a branch seemed to sense impending danger. It quickly flapped its wings and flew away. 667. Suddenly, a streak of light appeared, many times faster than the bird. If you looked closely, you would see a figure running. 668. That person was Lu Sheng. Running like a blur, he dashed like an arrow, freely displaying his martial artist skills. Quickly passing through the dense forest to the mountain peak as he ran, Lu Sheng thought to himself. 669. I didn't expect the stargazing force to also be applicable to movement techniques, a 4-fold skill in stargazing force. Plus dream absorption. My movement technique has reached a new high. Its speed is 5 times faster than an ordinary level 2 martial artist. Let's call it cloud chasing steps. 670. Lu Sheng stood on the mountaintop. Looking out, the surroundings were covered in mist, with colorful sunlight shining through. The air was fresh and full of abundant energy. 671. Lu Sheng took a deep breath, feeling every sensation in his body. 672. He exerted all his strength to throw a punch. Lu Sheng's internal energy made the surroundings tremble. The mists were blown away, revealing the magnificent natural scenery below. 673. Lu Sheng sighed with satisfaction. I've broken through. My blood and chi value has significantly increased. The stargazing force has also improved. I might be able to exert force up to 6 times. 674. Lu Sheng quickly picked some herbs. He thought to himself, "This is truly a surprise. I originally intended to come to Guhu Mountain to gather materials for the Nurturing Soul Elixir. I didn't expect to have such a major breakthrough in cultivation." 675. The white spiritual root and blood ascension have been consumed. The effectiveness of the medicine decreases with each use. I need to start refining the Nurturing Soul Elixir. The value and usage of this medicine have not yet been discovered in this era. If the system hadn't told me, I wouldn't have found this. Other medicinal herbs should have already been ordered at the foot of the mountain by now. They should be ready. 676. Just right. I can test how fast I can descend cloud chasing steps. 677. Lu Sheng then used his technique and ran down to the foot of the mountain at an incredibly fast speed. 678. As soon as he reached the foot of the mountain, Lu Sheng saw the gatherer already sitting there. Lu Sheng quickly walked over and greeted, "Hello, I'm the one who just ordered the herbs. May I ask if they are ready?" The vendor held a box in his hand and smiled. "Young man, you're here, haha. Don't worry, they're all ready. They're all here." 679. Lu Shang checked the herbs Yangling grass, Lu Shuang leaf. All were complete. The herbs were very fresh and of the right age. 680. Lu Shang then stood up and took out some money. Each type of herb, I need 10 plants, 500 yuan per plant. As we discussed, this is 5,000 yuan. The herbalist immediately said, don't rush. He gave Lu Shang a sinister smile and said not 500 per plant, but 1,000 yuan. Moreover, you have to buy all the herbs here. With that, he pointed to the surrounding baskets of herbs as a threat. Lu Shang saw that the herbalist intended to rob him in broad daylight. With a cold expression, he asked the old man, what do you mean? The herbalist gave a sinister smile and, brazenly, said it means exactly what it says, my young friend. You are not a native of Shuhai, are you? When you come to our place, you have to follow our rules. At this moment, about 10 thugs emerged from their hiding place. They held knives in their hands and walked towards him with fierce faces. Didn't your parents ever teach you? When you're out, you have to know fear when it's time to be afraid. Lu Shang's face became more serious. He gave a contemptuous laugh, then unleashed his power. So you guys are planning to force a sale? The leader happily approached without realizing the imminent danger. They stepped forward aggressively. All right, I advise you not to play tricks. These brothers are all proper first-level martial artists. If you call the police, there are no cameras here, and the police won't trust an outsider like you. So if you don't behave a little, don't blame us for making you taste some pain. The leaders signaled for the whole group to rush forward, but they suddenly stopped midway. Their faces turned pale, and they trembled in fear. Lu Shang just punched a large rock, causing many cracks to appear on it. The robbers who initially wanted to intimidate people all fell over after seeing Lu Shang's strength breaking out in a cold sweat. After retracting his hand, he asked the robbers, so I'd like to ask you a question. Is my current situation a time when I need to make a move? Then he crushed a rock like it was a piece of tofu, leaving them speechless and terrified. It took them a while to recover. They immediately knelt down and kowtowed. Sorry, we were blind, we're truly sorry. Lu Shang bent down to pick up the herb basket and asked, not continuing anymore. Then I'll take these. Seeing that Lu Shang didn't intend to harm them, they quickly flattered him. You can take them all, you don't need to leave any for winter. Lu Shang carried the herb basket back and said, I'll also teach you something on behalf of your parents. When doing business, you must be honest and not cheat. They felt like they had escaped death, and when Lu Shang spoke, they obediently raised their hands and thank you for your guidance. We will definitely change completely and start anew. Lu Shang saw their sincere expressions and thought to himself, I originally wanted to pay, but they didn't want it now. The materials are all prepared. It's time to go to the training camp. The leader saw Lu Shang go far away, and his eyes widened in fear. What kind of world is this? Are all students nowadays so abnormal? To be honest, I should still find a new job crushing rocks in a powder with bare hands. That's at least a third-level martial artist. Isn't that a bit hard to believe? One day later, Lu Shang appeared at Dongming Province Genius Training Camp. Seeing the military checking documents, he thought to himself, is this the training camp? It looks like a military base. Lu Shang felt a little uneasy, seeing all the students around him wearing medals. Martial artist medal. Is it a rule here to wear medals? My medal was put away by Mom. I forgot to bring it out. Is it important? He helplessly recalled the medal his mother kept in a display case. At this moment, an officer came over and asked, which city are you from? Why are you alone? Lu Shang replied, by a city. I was delayed. So I arrived a bit late. A group of young people heard by a city and whispered among themselves, by a city. Didn't they enter yesterday? Why is there still one left? Maybe he was slipped in. He doesn't even have a medal. Strange, by a city. Hasn't had anyone for so many years. This year, 2 people came. An officer handed over a list and said, 1 person has arrived. Are you? Lu Shang mentioned by the chairman of the Baiha Martial Arts Association. The nosy person standing nearby scoffed, haha, no wonder. So he's someone a chairman of the Baiha Association especially cares about. How impressive. Connected to the chairman of the Martial Arts Association, that's even more powerful than a third-level martial artist. I wonder how many gifts were given behind the scenes. Seeing the young people becoming more and more disrespectful, the officer pointed at them and shouted, everyone shut up. The officer yelled at the gossiping crowd, then motioned to Lu Shangyu and the people from Qingyang going in. Is the camp entry ceremony. Put all your luggage on the ground. Someone will come to collect it for you later. Lu Shang quickly responded. As soon as he entered the camp, Lu Shang thought the camp entry ceremony still requires groups to enter. It seems this isn't an ordinary ceremony, huh? Suddenly the door slammed shut. Everyone was stunned. What the heck? What's going on? Are they trying to lock us in? Is there a mistake? Everyone was in an uproar. The officer then spoke to calm them down. All right, listen carefully. Your mission is to go to the exit opposite the corridor. If you succeed, it will be considered passing the entry test. If you fail, turn back. Immediately. So good luck. The officer finished speaking and left, leaving them shouting what they said. It was an entry ceremony. Why is it a test? What kind of corridor? Say it clearly. Before they could fully recover, they fell into a secret passage. Holy crap, what the hell is this? Lu Shang was prepared beforehand, so he landed safely, but some people were not so lucky, landing lightly on their bottoms or heavily on their faces. His chin hit the ground hard after the free fall. He held his chin and shouted angrily, Azar, where is this? It hurts so much. What kind of ancient trap is this? Lu Shang looked toward the end of the base and used his spiritual sense to scan the base for traps. The result didn't surprise him much. As expected, it wasn't an ordinary corridor. What are these dark shadows? The effect of spiritual power is truly miraculous, almost like superpowers in novels. While observing the situation in the corridor, Lu Sheng heard Lin Xiaoyu say confidently, "I thought it was some special trick. Is that all?" How boring. At this moment, the man who landed on his chin angrily criticized him. "Lin Xiaoyu, you knew there was a problem with this entry ceremony early on. Damn it, you didn't remind everyone. I almost fell just now." Lin Xiaoyu smugly sneered at him. "You don't even have this much adaptability, and you still have a nerve to call yourself an official martial artist. When you go out, don't say you're a genius from Qingyuan City who participated in the training camp. It's embarrassing." The man who was mocked was equally angry. He was about to rush forward to fight Lin Xiaoyu, but was stopped by the people around him. "Lin Xiaoyu, damn it." Everyone also told him, all right, stop arguing. Everyone came from the same city. "It's not easy to get into the training camp. We should unite. It's most important now to quickly figure out how to pass this test." Lin Xiaoyu then offered his opinion. That's right, our Qingyuan City should unite. It's not good if anyone suffers a loss. This renowned genius training facility, its entry test must not be that simple. Currently, there happens to be an extra person here. I wonder if this kind person could go in and scout first." Lin Xiaoyu then pointed the finger at Lu Sheng, wanting him to go in and scout. A kind girl spoke up. "That's not good." The others quite liked Lin Xiaoyu's idea. Good idea. A guinea pig testing traps is interesting, Lu Sheng only snorted and said nothing. Lin Xiaoyu saw that he didn't speak and sneered, "If you're not going to go, then move aside." Lu Sheng quickly brushed his hand away, preparing to step in. Lin Xiaoyu saw him actively go in and scorned, "Oh, he knows how to take initiative. After all, little brat from Bias City, perform well. If you perform well, we might consider helping you along." Lu Sheng stepped into the tunnel, then turned back and smiled darkly. Bees are always alone. Cattle form herds." Seeing Lu Sheng insult him, Lin Xiaoyu stiffened and froze in place. He then asked what. Lu Sheng turned back to look at Lin Xiaoyu provocatively, then gave a mocking smile. Lin Xiaoyu was infuriated by the provocation. He pointed directly at Lu Sheng and said, "Deal with you. Dare call me cattle, I will make you." Before he could finish his threat, the tunnel mechanism was activated. Dozens of pink orbs charged out simultaneously. Lu Sheng remained quite calm facing it, but Lin Chengwu retreated in fear, screaming, "What is it?" The pink iron spheres, after hitting the ground, automatically transformed into dozens of robots with power far exceeding that of level 1 martial artist. It is puppet robots. Seeing the robots form made Lin Chengwu panic. These puppet mechanisms, even the weakest, surpass the strength of official level 1 martial artists. With so many of them, does the training camp want us dead? Everyone in the group also clamored, "It's so cramped here, we can't even run. What do we do?" I heard these puppets can manipulate various advanced martial arts sequences. The highest level is comparable to a level 4 martial artist. It's just that the cost is much higher than training a level 4 martial artist. This is the first time I've seen something like this. Lin Chengwu looked at Lu Sheng and sneered, "Is this country bumpkin from Bias City an idiot?" These puppet mechanisms are restricted. Once they sense a living being approaching, they automatically attack. A level 1 puppet mechanism is made of special alloy. A hard punch would kill it. The people outside watched Lu Sheng confronting the robot directly with excitement. That kid isn't even a level 1 martial artist. One punch might really turn him into an idiot. A kind girl saw the robot approaching and warned him, "Be careful." The robot sensed a human and unleashed a powerful 1,000-pound punch, aiming to crush Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng, however, stood still before the robot's punch. He merely smirked. The punch landed heavily on Lu Sheng, causing a cloud of dust. The surroundings became chaotic. Everyone covered their faces due to the strong impact. Lin Chengwu smiled smugly, convinced that Lu Sheng was now squashed like an ant. But no, after the dust gradually dissipated, everyone stared in shock at Lu Sheng. He had blocked the robot's punch with just one hand. Everyone was stunned and astonished. They gritted their teeth, their faces darkening in anger, saying, "He blocked it again." Not only did Lu Sheng block the punch, he even increased his grip, tightening his hold on the robot's fist, and said confidently, "Is that all?" Then, Lu Sheng lifted the robot high into the air with one hand and slammed it hard onto the ground. The robot was completely destroyed. Its body shattered. Components and fragments were scattered everywhere. After witnessing Lu Sheng's strength, the people from other provinces dared not mock him anymore. They secretly thought, "Damn, is he even human? What do we do now? He seems very strong." Suddenly, that idiot Lin Chengwu burst out laughing, scratching his head and ears, saying, "I almost got fooled by this guy. What level 1 puppet mechanism? It's just a pile of scrap metal. Its true combat power is probably close to a wooden dummy. It's just that its appearance is a bit intimidating otherwise. With so many puppet robots here, how could anyone pass the test? Moreover, with just that much strength, how can a good-for-nothing who got in through connections and isn't even a level 1 martial artist withstand the attack of a puppet mechanism?" At this moment, in everyone's eyes, Lin Chengwu was an optimistic fool. He could even deduce so many scenarios. Someone immediately spoke up. "No, that's not it. This puppet looks like." Lin Chengwu saw that everyone didn't believe him and sneered, "Forget, it's a waste of effort to explain to you idiots. If you don't understand, then open your eyes and watch how I pass this stage." Lin Xiaoyu, full of confidence, took a run up and leaped high, kicking the switch on the robot's body powerfully. Excellent, excellent. Seeing Lin Xiaoyu's swift movements made everyone exclaim, "Oh, this puppet is a fake." Lin Xiaoyu stood before the puppet he thought he had defeated, spreading his arms confidently, saying, "Haha, I was right, wasn't I these ones?" Before he could finish his sentence, the robot behind him swung its fist. Lin Xiaoyu, still smug, was punched flying these ones. As a result, Lin Xiaoyu was punched far away. Sticking to the wall, numerous cracks appeared on the wall. He was bruised from the punch's face. With a few broken teeth, still managed to utter a few words. "What is this? This isn't a level 1 puppet mechanism at all, it's a level 2 one." After speaking, he rolled his eyes and fainted. One person from the group rushed to Lin Xiaoyu. "Wake up, are you okay?" Lin Xiaoyu was unconscious, his handsome face swollen and one eye bruised. He was helped to a corner by everyone. Some people were worried, sweating profusely. A level 2 puppet mechanism, how strong is he really? At this moment, Lu Sheng was still calmly dealing with the puppet robots while fighting. Lu Sheng sighed. Every puppet mechanism has a central part. A light touch can defeat it, but there are too many. How boring. After a while, Lu Sheng finally cleared all the puppet robots in the tunnel. Before him was the final door. The officer commanding the robots looked at the notification on the control panel and was immediately shocked. Jaw-dropping, "What's happening? All puppet mechanisms have encountered problems, aren't they all brand new?" The notification kept ringing. "Number 99 has lost response." The officer held the control panel in his hand. Panicking, "They're all broken. A group of level 1 recruits can smash level 2 puppet mechanisms." The officer, panicking, suddenly saw a shattered robot thrown in front of him. Lu Sheng calmly said, "The second stage has opened. You finally arrived." The officer looked at the control panel, receiving notifications that all connections were lost. Then he heard Lu Sheng say, "Come here, guardian of the stage." This made the officer quite confused. He thought to himself, "When did I become the guardian of the second stage?" Lu Sheng, with sharp eyes, was ready to fight with full force. He was now like Yama, stepping out to claim a life, saying coldly, "I hope you don't disappoint me." Lu Sheng unleashed his full power, uncategorized Hengxing power 10 times. The power he unleashed even surpassed the officer, who, facing absolute strength, could only surrender. A scream echoed. In the main monitoring room, notifications kept ringing, stating that contestants have been disqualified. Number 8 has been disqualified. Lieutenant Colonel Dong Qingxue was intently observing. Camera feed, she typed intently on the keyboard. Clack, clack, the sounds of machinery around also echoed constantly. Shui. Major Qin Xiaojun calmly walked in, holding a cup of coffee, humming a song as he went. What a day full of happiness. Qin Xiaojun looked up and saw Dong Qingxue intently watching the surveillance camera. He greeted her. "Oh, you're here, Qingxue." Dong Qingxue turned back, frowning, and reminded him, "Don't call me that. Major Qin Xiaojun, if you're free, come over and help me read these documents." Qin Xiaojun happily walked over and sat down, asking, all right, Lieutenant Colonel Dong Qingxue, so how's the quality of the geniuses in this training camp?" Dong Qingxue held her head and sighed. "Not good. Only 8 seeds are considered to meet our standards. They're all official martial artists who have awakened their talents among them. 5 are quite ordinary. All are strength-type talents. Additionally, there are 3 people who are speed-type and defense-type." Qin Xiaojun immediately asked, "Spirit-type?" Dong Qingxue also rated it quite highly. This spirit-type is the best. Xiaolin, 18 years old, awakened his spiritual power talent less than 2 years ago. Currently, he has reached the standard of a level 1 psychic master. His martial arts talent is not bad. He is about to enter level 2. Qin Xiaojun joked, "Isn't it pretty good? An absolute genius like you." Back then, while joking, he saw Dong Qingxue's cold gaze, which made him shut up. Obediently, "Don't say anything else. Her eyes are already cold. Haha." Dong Qingxue frowned, warning, "Don't mess around. I've already put her on the list of key training targets for this camp." Qin Xiaojun quickly forced a smile and changed the subject. "The others are not bad." His hand was pressing the scene change on the monitor. Suddenly, an unexpected scene made him grimace. After seeing the situation clearly, he spat out all the coffee he was drinking. Confusion was evident on his face. "What the heck is this?" Dong Qingxue also became serious and observed the situation. At the same time, in Competition Arena 7, a robot appeared right behind Xiaolin. It wanted to sneak attack her while she wasn't paying attention, but Xiaolin quickly used her mental power to fight the robot. She threw the robot flying away, slamming it into the wall and creating a large crack. After dealing with the robot, she let out a sigh of relief. This is the last one, right? Robot corpses lay scattered, and she saw a thick iron door. She didn't rush, and Xiaolin used her mental power to observe the surroundings. She thought to herself, "There's a very dangerous feeling there. The strength is at least above level 3, but it's not coming out to stop me. This proves it's not part of the test. Maybe it's a supervisor in charge of some inspection." But as soon as Xiaolin stepped through the door, she froze. The chaotic scene inside suddenly made her tense inside. Officers wearing bulletproof vests and carrying bulletproof shields looked fearful. They held weapons in their hands, all focused on another gate. They were all highly vigilant, as if a terrifying beast was outside the door. Seeing such a situation, Xiaolin thought to herself, what is this really a big battle? What are they so vigilant about? Xiaolin was quite curious about what was inside the door, so she used her mental power to see through the door and observe the situation inside. What's happening inside Xiaolin, then saw two people fighting inside, which made her suspicious. Is this two people fighting? Why are the opponents people aren't the exam targets all robots? Xiaolin saw a shadowy figure like a devil with a malicious smile rushing towards her. She subconsciously thought, who is he, while observing. Xiaolin was suddenly discovered by the devil. Those eyes stared at her, carrying an immense pressure. A terrifying sense of dread ran through her body, making Xiaolin afraid. Xiaolin shrieked in terror, then quickly closed the iron door and decided to hide in the tunnel. Then she used her mental power to seal the door, making it impossible to open again. The officers outside saw her screaming in panic and running away, and were a bit confused by her action. Xiaolin hid in a corner. Her whole body trembled with fear. Her eyes welled up with tears. Haha, what was it? This feeling of fear? It's truly terrifying. At this moment, Dong Qingxue and Qin Xiaojun had also arrived at the control room. The officer saw them and immediately showed joy. They called out Lieutenant Colonel Dong Qingxue. Major Qin Xiaojun asked worriedly, what's the situation inside now? Where are the supervisors? The soldiers quickly replied, several cameras near the door have been destroyed. It's temporarily unclear. The supervisors lost contact 3 minutes ago. We are preparing to report to Superior. Qin Xiaojun immediately ordered everyone on lane 12, give me all the documents immediately. Suddenly, Dong Qingxue said no need. The door was suddenly struck by a powerful force, creating a small gap. All the officers gritted their teeth as if facing a great enemy. They held their weapons tightly. Lu Sheng directly smashed the door and the surrounding wall, then calmly walked out with a fearless expression. Everyone saw him and breathed a sigh of relief, loosening their weapons. What, just a student? But before they could rejoice, everyone's faces turned pale. The soldiers quickly replied, Lu Sheng was dragging an unconscious person. That person was the supervisor who had lost contact. Everyone immediately raised their guard again. Dong Qingxue asked, you are not a student from Qingyuan City. Are you? May I ask who you are? Lu Sheng dropped the supervisor on the ground with a thump and introduced himself. Baihe City. Lu Sheng. Qin Xiaojun smiled brightly and praised, good job. Kid, such an expensive robot puppet, you easily dismantled it. Not to mention, even the instructor was beaten. You're really something. Lu Sheng scratched his ear, embarrassed, and explained it's a misunderstanding. I thought this was part of the test. He was very strong, so I didn't hold back. Dong Qingxue suddenly used her mental power to scan Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng stood motionless when she saw he had no reaction. Dong Qingxue then withdrew her mental power. After confirming, Dong Qingxue congratulated him. Congratulations on passing this camp entrance exam, student Lu Sheng. Please go rest first. The staff will take you to the dormitory. Lu Sheng smiled and said, yes, then quickly followed the staff guide. After Lu Sheng left, Dong Qingxue sighed. That kid is really crazy. Looking at the video just now, the level 2 mechanical puppet was like a toy in his hands. Qin Xiaojun held the document in his hand and said in disbelief, the document shows his chi and blood is only 15. His combat power is 15,000. How is that possible? It's truly unbelievable. Dong Qingxue recalled the situation just now. Just now, I used my mental power to probe him. I didn't feel anything, and he didn't react. Qin Xiaojun asked, so, how do you plan to arrange this monster? Dong Qingxue thought for a moment and said, I haven't figured out yet, but his document value must be inaccurate. For now, we will list him as a top seed, like Xiaolin. For cultivation, it seems this competition will become more and more interesting. On the way back to the dormitory, Lu Sheng thought to himself, was that a mental peak? Just now, instructor Dong Qingxue's mental power must be at least 5 times stronger than mine. I completely withdrew my mental power. I wonder if I was discovered while he was lost in thought. Lu Sheng's stomach suddenly growled. The staff understood and led him to the cafeteria. Student Lu Sheng, it's mealtime now. Please go to the cafeteria to eat first. Then I'll take you to the dormitory. Lu Sheng awkwardly thanked him. Thank you for the trouble. And asked casually, is there enough food here? He whispered the amount of food recently has been a bit. The military camp staff laughed. Haha, don't worry. The first time you eat, there's no limit on the quantity. The best dishes from the kitchen were brought out in front of Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng's face lit up with joy at the good food. Even after eating more than 20 to 30 plates, Lu Sheng still called out, this is delicious. Add 5 more. No. 10 more. I need this too. The officer standing next to him stared in astonishment at his eating. Speechless while he was concentrating on eating, a pretty girl walked up and greeted him. You're student Lu Sheng, right? My name is Yang Yin. I'm also a student participating in this training from Baihe City. We met during the martial artist test. Do you remember? May I sit next to you by reflex? Lu Sheng quickly hugged the pile of food on the table, his mouth full of food, and said, the food here is unlimited. You can go find them. Yang Yin angrily thought, who wants to mooch off your food besides? You said it's unlimited. What are you doing? Lu Sheng ate and asked, I remember the president once said that Baihe City hasn't had anyone come here for a long time. What's going on? Yang Yin explained, you might have misunderstood. In fact, students from Baihe City come here every year. It's just that for many years, few people have been able to pass the entrance exam. Even if they pass the test, they're quickly expelled due to insufficient points after all the hardship. They can only be a backdrop for others. No one wants to write this in their resume. Lu Sheng seemed to understand the problem. And he asked again, so that's how it is. So what are accumulation points? Yang Yen added accumulation points are the currency here. To use the training camp's resources, you need to use accumulation points. Using training machines, asking instructors to answer cultivation questions, getting supplements. Even dormitories require consuming accumulation points. The exotic beast meat you're eating is also specially supplied to the military. You can only get it by using accumulation points. And currently in the training camp, only 3 people have accumulated points, Lu Sheng asked again. Only 3 people? How did they get their accumulated points? Yang Yin said without hesitation. They can only earn accumulated points through tests and examinations. Their accumulated points were earned through the camp entrance exam. Chao Yong, a second-tier, gifted martial artist from Yonglin City, possesses rock-type talent. The second person is Meng Jinhe, a second-tier, gifted martial artist from Dongnam City, possesses speed-type talent. The last person is even rarer than a gifted martial artist, an awakened spiritual talent, a psychic. It's said that his strength and talent are the strongest in this training camp. Xia Lin, the psychic, when Xia Lin was getting food, she saw Lu Sheng eating nearby, which startled her. Her entire body trembled. She shrieked with a panicked expression. Seeing Lu Sheng eating nearby, Xia Lin immediately turned away in fear. Her trembling hands controlled her psychic power to prevent the food on her tray from spilling. Xia Lin broke out in a cold sweat and quickly ran away. Lu Sheng, who was eating and talking with Yang Yin, saw Xia Lin and suddenly remembered her, exclaiming, ah. So was her. Yang Yin asked, do you know her? Lu Sheng took a sip of water and calmly said, I met her once. Lu Sheng continued to ask, you just said only 3 people passed. Yang Yin heard some gossip and recounted, I heard there was a 4th person, but this rumor is a bit exaggerated. Not only is their strength terrifying, they single-handedly defeated almost all the second-tier mechanical puppets. Moreover, this person has an arrogant personality and even caused an instructor to be hospitalized. Truly an out-of-control madman. Lu Sheng choked on his water after hearing that. He quickly chimed in, haha. That's too exaggerated, a bit over the top. Yang Yin thought to herself, but this training camp truly lives up to its reputation. Everyone here is a genius. Even that monster Lu Sheng, who caused a stir in Baka City, came here and was bothered by many people. Seeing Lu Sheng choke, she kindly offered him a tissue and comforted him. Don't worry, Lu Sheng, I believe in you. With your strength and talent, as long as you stay in the training camp for a while, you won't necessarily be worse than them. Lu Sheng took the tissue and stammered for a moment, not knowing what to say. Ahem, thank you. That before he could finish, a group of people approached with serious expressions and asked, is this student Lu Sheng, considering that you damaged 18 mechanical puppets during the entrance exam and caused an instructor to be hospitalized, we will now ask you a few questions according to procedure. Please cooperate and come with us. Yang Yin saw that the legendary 4th person she had just discussed was Lu Sheng, and her eyes widened in shock, rendering her speechless. Everyone around was also surprised by the situation. They were so shocked that they gasped, dropping their food. What? Lu Sheng calmly stood up and said, I understand. He awkwardly asked the officer, but I haven't finished eating yet. May I ask if I can pack it to go? The officers were not expecting this situation and froze for a few seconds before replying. After packing his food, Lu Sheng politely bid farewell to Yang Yin. I'm so sorry, I'll be going now. Yang Yin, still reeling from the shock, stammered, ah. Okay. Seeing Lu Sheng and the officers walk away, the entire dining hall almost erupted. So the rumor is true. Oh my god, there really is such a monster. Okay, the legendary 4th person is Lu Sheng from Baka City. Yang Yin then fell into deep thought. Her heart felt as if covered in frost at the foolish words she had spoken in front of Lu Sheng. At this moment, she only wished she could wear a few pairs of pants on her head. Arrogant, out of control, exaggerated, overshadowed. Many people, too fake madman. What was I even saying? In the control command room, Lu Sheng was talking privately with Lieutenant Colonel Dong Tintuet. She held the damage report in her hand and coldly said, quite impressive. Student Lu Sheng, a little bit of your skill has cost us half a year's budget. Lu Sheng's whole body tensed up when he saw the cost of the damages. Dong Tintuet pondered for a moment and said, the price of each puppet is over tens of thousands. Moreover, none of them can be repaired. Impressive. But after discussion, we decided to temporarily not pursue this matter. After all, it was a normal performance during the assessment. The responsibility does not lie with you. Hearing that he wouldn't be held responsible for the damages, Lu Sheng breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, Major Tan Fuquan and the first 3 people who passed the test also entered. As soon as the door opened, Tan Fuquan surprisingly said, oh, you're here, so that's good. Everyone who passed the test has arrived. Lu Sheng turned to observe the 3 of them. Tian Ha looked at him with disdain, not even bothering to acknowledge him. Chao Deng looked at him with eyes full of anger and contempt. How long? From the moment he walked in and saw Lu Sheng, was startled and panicked, now wishing he could turn into a scared turtle and quickly run away. Dong Tin Tuet glanced at all 4 outstanding individuals who passed the test and praised them first, Congratulations to everyone for passing this entrance exam. You all did very well. Dong Tin Tuet held 4 cards in her hand as a reward and said in this training camp, the stronger you are, the more resources you can obtain. You all pass the entrance exam. So I will give you corresponding rewards and accumulated points. When accumulated points reach a certain value, they will be stored using a point card. These are your accumulated point cards. Dong Tin Tuet used psychic power to give each person a golden card. Chao Dong held the card in his hand. Thinking happily, this is the golden accumulated point card the instructor mentioned earlier. It contains 100 accumulated points. Tianha also beamed with joy, making a victory pose and thinking, excellent, now I'm in the lead. Ha Lam held the card in her hand. Thinking happily, 100 accumulated points, that's enough for the legendary high-level psychic grand instructor to give me private guidance. Suddenly, everyone saw Lu Sheng holding a white card, which made everyone curious, and their eyes focused on the card. How come his card, how is it white? Lu Sheng held the card in his hand, observed it for a moment, then asked, a white accumulated point card? I've never heard of it. Could it be a card with no points? Exotic beast meat in the cafeteria. 1 meal costs 5 accumulated points. Training room. 1 hour costs 10 accumulated points. Normal instructor guidance. Once costs 30 accumulated points. Grand instructor and vice grand instructor guidance. Once costs 100 accumulated points. After reading the card's usage details, Lu Sheng calmly said, something shocking. Only eating meat in here is somewhat useful. His words made Tan Thiu Quan, who was sitting on a chair, fall to the ground in shock. The other students were also speechless. Tan Thiu Quan pointed at the card and said, what do you mean? Kid, don't act innocent. After taking advantage, you have 1,000 accumulated points in your hand. If our instructors hadn't stopped the higher-ups, you would even owe accumulated point for the damages you caused. After hearing Tan Thiu Quan, everyone's jaws dropped in surprise. What, 1,000 points? Chao Dong suddenly let out a cold laugh. Haha, I thought this training session was truly based on strength. It turns out they're playing favorites. How disappointing. Tian Ha, standing nearby, also crossed his arms and sighed. How powerful must his connections be? That's terrifying. Ha Lam covered her mouth in fear. Don't you know what he did during the test? Chao Dong aggressively wanted to teach him a lesson. Of course, I know. Someone spread rumors that he bribed students and instructors, right? The instructors are at least 3rd-level martial artists. To defeat him, one must be at least a 4th-level martial artist. Even with the strongest innate talent from before, it wouldn't be possible. Moreover, such good health, there isn't any trace of chi and blood depletion. If the purpose of the training camp is the resources that the strong possess the most, then please prove to me now that you are strong. Seeing them about to fight, Qin Xiaojun intended to step in and stop them. Hey, you guys. Dong Qingxue quickly stopped him. She wanted to see Lu Sheng's true strength. Lu Sheng calmly asked, haha, are you sure? Chao Yong rushed forward, furiously shouting, enough talk today. I want to see if you can break my innate talisman if I take one step back. Before he could finish, Lu Sheng casually flicked him with a double-powered youthful version of Starfall Brainclaw. Chao Yong didn't even have time to strike before he was flicked away. He even made a large hole in the base's wall and fell right there. The situation happened so fast that the spectators gasped. What? Lu Sheng felt he had overdone it and guiltily said, he made me hit him. Don't make me pay for damages. After witnessing Chao Yong being flicked through the wall by Lu Sheng, Xiaolin and Jin, he were utterly shocked. It felt like a bolt from the blue. They stammered for a long time, unable to form a complete sentence. Lu Sheng didn't want to cause more trouble at this moment. He just wanted to quickly return to his room to cultivate. So Qin Xiaojun turned his face away and whistled as if he had anticipated this outcome. Lu Sheng said indifferently, can I leave now? Then he quickly departed. Dong Qingxue, seeing Lu Sheng about to leave, called out, classmate Lu Sheng, what is your next cultivation plan? If you use accumulated points, you can receive my personal guidance. Lu Sheng gently pushed the door open and stepped out. Thank you, Chief Commander, but no need. I have more important matters to attend to. Qin Xiaojun was quite curious and asked, you have something more important than the Chief Commander's guidance? Jinhe and Xiaolin also listened, nervously wondering what could be so important. Lu Sheng confirmed, yes, I want to go back and sleep. Hearing this rather reason truly opened Jinhe and Xiaolin's eyes in admiration. What? Qin Xiaojun also laughed heartily. Ha ha ha. This kid. Dong Qingxue's face showed frustration, unable to say anything more. After everyone had left, Dong Qingxue checked the surveillance camera and saw that Lu Sheng had indeed returned to the dorm to sleep. Qin Xiaojun seemed to have heard an unbelievable joke. This kid really went back to sleep. Haha. Dong Qingxue also didn't understand what he was thinking. What is he doing? There are no resources in the dorm. Si Jun, with the mindset of a spoiled fun, for the first time I've seen such an interesting genius, let him do whatever he wants. Dong Qingxue then said in a low voice, you don't understand. He is an excellent whetstone. He can stimulate the rapid growth of others. Qin Xiaojun said, seriously, a whetstone? I'm afraid this whetstone is stronger than all the knives here, isn't it? Dong Qingxue seemed to recall a memory. Do you still remember our class, that person Xiang Bang? Hearing that name, Qin Xiaojun stood up and clutched his chest, saying, of course, speaking of him, my chest still hurts in that class's training camp. He put pressure on all the geniuses, stepping on everyone. He was a truly deserving king. Dong Qingxue then mused, that's right, those with innate strength talent before had a huge advantage, easily achieving tens of thousands of combat power, even fighting enemies above their level. But skill, speed, observation, judgment, experience, tactics, strategy, strength is not just power in the process of continuous growth and accumulation. Martial artists with innate strength talent only rely on the strength their talent provides. In the end, they are only brilliant for a while. This is probably Lu Shang's ultimate path. Lu Shang was currently in a dream realm, fighting fiercely with a blonde, muscular zombie. Both sides fought equally, but neither conceded. The zombie suddenly threw a powerful punch, but Lu Shang firmly held it. He quickly grabbed an iron bar nearby and stabbed it through the zombie's thigh and foot, pinning it to the ground. Seizing the opportunity, he unleashed his ultimate skill planet punch, hitting the zombie hard in the face. This punch made the zombie transcend directly after it died. Lu Shang also gained its skills and memories. Lu Shang let out a sigh of relief after struggling with the zombie for a long time before it died. It was a quasi-grandmaster level 6 equivalent to the level of Martial Arts Association Minister Xiao Yuha. No wonder it was so strong just now, that punch. If I hadn't used all my mental power to block it, I'm afraid. Lu Shang began to enter the stage of absorbing martial arts techniques, combat experience, compared to leveling up chi and blood. These are the benefits in his dream world: body techniques, fist techniques, long staff techniques, bladed techniques, spear techniques, sword techniques. Human power is limited. No matter what, one person cannot do everything, but I stand on the shoulders of countless people. All-encompassing, without flaws, this is my martial Tao, the complete martial Tao. After comprehending the skills of that level 6 zombie, Lu Shang sat down to rest. And also mental power. Just now, if it wasn't for mental power, I might not even have been able to withstand the zombies' intent. Unfortunately, I'm still using the most basic mental power for now. I can only use it this way against zombies. If there truly were level 6 experts, it's hard to say. I need to further cultivate my mental power after. Saying that, Lu Shang quickly delved deep into his own mental power, focusing his inner self, not being affected by external matters. Deep in thought, refining the spirit. After refining, Lu Shang used the condensed light to touch the top of his mental power. The stone layer surrounding his mental power gradually cracked, emitting a mysterious glow. Lu Shang was then pulled by a force, his whole body aching, as if being torn apart. Finally, his mental power was completely unleashed. The released power shattered all the windows of the building. After fully releasing the energy, Lu Shang was like a dried-up corpse. He stood there, weakly pant. His face couldn't hide his joy. I've broken through again. After recovering, Lu Shang eagerly opened his AI to see if his future self had any new breakthroughs. Next, it's been a long time since I've seen my own life history. I wonder what it will turn into this time. Lu Shang ordered the AI, show me my personal file. AI quickly collected data, retrieving information for you. A moment later, Lu Shang's complete profile appeared. Name, Lu Shang. Gender, male. Lifespan, June 297 AD. April 452 AD. Martial arts. Strength, level 7. Martial artist, authority, level 3. Summary: at 18 became a level 2 martial artist, shocking Baihe City. Then, under the recommendation of the Baihe City Martial Arts Association, participated in the Dongning Province Genius Training Camp, won first place in training that same year, ranked first in the entire school, ranked first in the entire province, scored 53rd nationwide in the college entrance exam, admitted to Dongning Martial Arts University 3 years later, graduated from Dongning Martial Arts University, served in the military 5 years later, retired with the rank of Major General, founded Xingwu Hall in Baihe City. At 65, advanced to level 7 martial artist, July 452 AD. Old injury, recurred, died at 156 years old. Marital status, married, has 2 sons and 1 daughter. Highest military rank, Major General. Historical evaluation, 3 stars. Lu Shang saw that his information had been upgraded again, which made him extremely happy. 7th Grandmaster, level 7. I can enter the Grandmaster realm, level 7 in my lifetime. If placed in ancient times, I could be considered a feudal lord of a region. Even now, I am an influential figure. Lu Shang then thought to himself, that's right, if I become a Grandmaster, then my evaluation and authority should have been upgraded, right? Lu Shang then ordered the AI search for Starfall body, refining technique, natural breathing method, and crystal enema technique. AI quickly responded, yes. A moment later, countless cultivation methods appeared around Lu Shangxing. Lian Tishu, advanced section, introduction to the cultivation method, created by Wu Ming Strong, individual Wang. He at level 11, included in the Fire Seed Plan natural breathing method, advanced section, introduction to the cultivation method, created by Wu Ming Strong, individual Yang Ezhou at level 11. Included in the Fire Seed Plan crystal enema method, advanced section, introduction to the cultivation method, created by Wu Ming Strong, individual Duan Yifeng, at level 11, included in the Fire Seed Plan Lu Shang side. As expected, with level 3 authority, I can search for higher level cultivation methods. Suddenly, there was a rather strange book that made Lu Shang a bit curious to see what is this? Lu Sheng quickly opened the book inside the book greatly, surprised him. Shun, Zhao, Ming, Wang Jing Introduction to the Cultivation Method created by Wu Ming's strong individual Duan Yifeng at level 11 included in the Fire Seed plan. After reading it, Lu Sheng exclaimed, "This is a complete set of cultivation methods." Lu Sheng opened the cultivation method to read it and was endlessly surprised. This is Shun Zhao, Ming Wang, Jing Heaven's Steed, soaring through the sky, floating thoughts, unbelievable. No wonder this cultivation method was not in the combat skills report. This is a specialized cultivation method designed for spiritual Nianshur thought masters. It not only includes combat essentials and spiritual power usage techniques moreover. The most important thing is that this cultivation method is completely different from other spiritual power cultivation methods. The core content of Shun Zhao Ming Wang Jing is to use spiritual power from within a martial artist's body to construct another body. One could say it's a second self, and the refinement level of this body can reach muscle fiber cells, and even the genetic level, and all of this is for one purpose: to achieve all-round growth for oneself without blind spots. The first layer of Shun Zhao Ming Wang Jing is to use spiritual power organs to strengthen the body, thereby achieving the effect of increasing qi and blood. This just happens to be my biggest shortcoming. My combat power cannot be increased, but the base qi and blood value is actually unchangeable. Qi and blood have always hindered my progress. If I can break through this point, I can increase all my attribute abilities. Using spiritual power to influence a martial artist's qi and blood, it's truly unbelievable. I really underestimated the 10,000-year crystallization of martial arts wisdom. A method of this level now, let alone creating it, even thinking about it, is impossible. Duan Yifeng, I will remember this name, a character with such outstanding talent. It's hard for a civilization to produce a second person of this kind. I'm afraid that even among level 11 strong individuals, they would be considered in absolute top existence, and yet even such a figure could not stop the destruction of a national civilization. There is still much I need to do. The road ahead is still very long. Every minute, every second, I must do my best to become stronger. 1 month later in the training room, Ha Lin diligently cultivated her spiritual power. Currently, she is standing in a testing room. Automated ball firing systems are installed everywhere. Ha Lin's task is to use her spiritual power to control weapons to destroy the incoming balls. Ha Lin closed her eyes, feeling the trajectory of the balls, then controlled multiple spirit needles to rush forward and destroy them. All the shot balls shattered in an instant. Lieutenant Colonel Dong Qingxue observed from outside and saw Ha Lin excel. She then opened the door and stepped in to praise. "Not bad, you've improved very quickly. You've mastered manipulating 3 spirit needles. When you master manipulating 6, it means you've entered the first level of elementary spiritual thought." Ha Lin was praised and bowed to thank Dong Qingxue for her guidance. "Thank you, General Instructor. It's thanks to your guidance," Dong Qingxue politely said. "It also relates to your talent and effort." Dong Qingxue frowned and said, "But I discovered one thing. There seems to be a very large loophole in your spiritual. Well, someone left a psychological shadow on you, right?" Ha Lin immediately remembered Lu Sheng's gaze when they first met, which made her tremble, and still does. Ha Lin clenched her fingers, cold sweat breaking out, and trembled. "Yes, General Instructor, is there any way to solve this problem?" Dong Qingxue coldly said, "It's very simple. Find the person who left the psychological shadow on you. Defeat him or kill him, then there will naturally be no more psychological shadow." Hearing that she had to defeat Lu Sheng, Ha Lin panicked. She screamed in fear. Dong Qingxue saw Ha Lin's appearance and frowned, wishing she could forge iron into steel. "What's wrong? You are currently in a period of rapid strength growth. This small matter shouldn't trouble you, right?" Ha Lin thought for a moment. "I heard that terrifying guy is still in a state of mental decline during this period if his strength remains stagnant. Perhaps I really can." Ha Lin seemed to make a big decision. Her eyes became more determined, resolved to defeat Lu Sheng. After finishing Ha Lin's training, Qin Xiaojun, who was eavesdropping outside, immediately asked, "Is it over?" "How was it?" Dong Qingxue said with a hint of annoyance. "Her talent is good, but her personality is a bit weak." Qin Xiaojun smiled. "Do you think everyone is like you? Besides, how can her personality be better than those I teach?" Dong Qingxue said, "Meng Jina, right? I've already taught him. Anyway, there's still 1 to 2 months." Grin and bear it. "By the way, is he still the same?" Si Jun recounted dejectedly. "Still the same. Every day, when I bring food and I see him sleeping, I guess he's useless." Qin Xiaojun then turned to mock Dong Qingxue. "Do you remember what you said when you train students? As long as you like it, no one will care if you sleep in the dorm every day." Haha. Dong Qingxue covered her face and sighed. "I shouldn't have said that." Qin Jun, stubborn by nature, still wanted to tease a few more words. "So, do you want to use him as a whetstone again?" Dong Qingxue was fuming and cursed loudly. "Whetstone my ass, you're taking advantage of me and still being arrogant." Dong Qingxue angrily walked away. "I don't care about it, and you better train your Meng Jinha. Well, otherwise Ha Lin will beat him terribly." During the test, Qin Xiaojun subtly glanced angrily. "Who's afraid of who?" In the gym, Yin was cleaning with some friends. She tiredly held a broom and swept the floor, sighing with boredom. "A friend ran over happily calling out Yang. Yin, not finished yet. I'll help you. Yang Yin was happy to have help, and thanked them. Thanks, the friend replied. It's nothing, you helped me like that last time too. The two of them swept the floor and sighed. They really admired those who could get 100 accumulation points 2 months worth. Will be enough. Yang Yin also empathized. Poor people like us have to suffer starving for 1 or 2 meals just to barely have enough accumulation points. We can't compare. Suddenly the friend asked Yang Yin, what is Lu Sheng from your city doing these days? Aren't you and him quite close? The mention of Lu Sheng made Yang also quite curious. She sadly said him, I don't know. The friend continued to gossip. I guess you don't know either. You said that Lu Sheng was really something else. He was so strong. When he first came in, copying everyone in the camp, what was the result? The next day, Lu Sheng was still cooped up and not coming out. Perhaps his strength has long been surpassed by others. Yang Yin, do you think he's scared? He knew that the power of his talent would gradually decrease. So he just decided to act like a shrinking turtle, adding to his mystique. Thinking of Lu Sheng's abilities, Yang Yin always fully trusted him. She thought to herself, no, Lu Sheng is not that kind of person. Yang Yin quickly snatched the broom from her friend's hand, turned away, and said, you rest a bit, leave the rest of the work to me. Seeing Yang Yin vying for the work, her friend was a bit bewildered, not understanding. At this moment on the balcony, a crowd of people were shouting to watch. Come on, let's see. Tao Yong seems to be trying 4 times gravity. Really, the friend screamed when she heard such shocking news. Did you hear 4 times gravity? Is it real? That's too insane. Yang Yin also said incredulously, last time, I only entered the 1 million times gravity room. For no more than 20 minutes, I almost died. This is 4 times. The friend excitedly pulled Yang Yin to watch. Let's go watch. Yang Yin was also a bit surprised to be pulled. As she walked, Yang Yin thought to herself, Lu Sheng, what exactly are you doing right now? Meanwhile, Lu Sheng also just woke up from a long dream. His strength had also increased quite a bit. He gently opened the dorm door and walked out, his face a bit colder than before. In the gravity room, Chao Yong was concentrating on enduring triple gravity. He tensed his muscles to withstand the crushing force. His muscles were rigid. Everyone outside exclaimed, so strong, almost 4 minutes, more than last time by 4 minutes. Finally, after enduring for 4 minutes, Chao Yong quickly pressed the stop button. As soon as Chao Yong stepped out of the room, everyone cheered for him. Truly amazing. I can't even last 10 minutes at double gravity, but Chao Yong can endure 4 minutes at triple gravity. After gravity training, Chao Yong walked out with a confident expression, breathing a sigh of relief. Comfortable, seeing everyone flattering him, Chao Yong said smugly, just this level, and you're already scared like this, so when I reach quadruple gravity, won't I? Haha. A sycophant ran over and said, big brother Chao Yong, it looks like you'll adapt to quadruple gravity. Very soon you'll break through to level 3 martial artist. Then I wonder who in the training camp will be your opponent. Hearing this sycophant praise him reminded Chao Yong of his opponent. He put his hand to his forehead. It still hurts now. He then asked, how is he doing now? The sycophant chuckled him. Lu Sheng, oh, he's still the same. Every time students bring food, they see him sleeping in bed. He's even dreaming about something. Haha. Chao Yong sneered, arrogant, and conceded, even if I wasn't as good as him, initially a slow turtle will eventually catch up to a sleeping rabbit. Besides, he's been sleeping for over a month this time, wasting 1,000 accumulation points now. I'm not so sure I'd lose to him. While Chao Yong was daydreaming, a figure suddenly flashed past him, startling Chao Yong for a few seconds. Lu Sheng walked, and said just a little after Chao Yong realized who it was, he shouted in panic, Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng stood calmly in front of the gravity room door, and said, so, this is the gravity training room, not bad. Chao Yong leaned against the door, and sneered, you finally came out. How, what's wrong? After sleeping for over a month, you finally remembered the gravity training room. Lu Sheng didn't even care what Chao Yong was saying. He swiped his card to activate the gravity room, thinking to himself, I didn't expect eating to cost so many accumulation points. 3 hours first. After glancing at the training room system, Lu Sheng chose the 3-hour option. 3 hours, level 2 gravity accumulation points deducted. After activating the gravity room, Lu Sheng stepped inside. Before entering, he turned back and taunted Chao Yong, just in time to test my strength growth. Chao Yong angrily shouted, you sleep in the dorm every day and still want to increase your strength. What a joke. The door slowly closed. The system announced countdown begins. 4. Chao Yong poked his head and kindly reminded, hey, didn't you activate it before entering the gravity training room? The system continued to announce, due to gravity's effect, please use the physical button. User Lu Sheng level 2 gravity. Chao Yong outside excitedly watched the show. The gravity training room is not a joke if you don't activate it according to regulations and suddenly endure external pressure. While completely unable to move, it's very easy to cause internal organ rupture and bleeding. Whether he doesn't know or is arrogant this time, he's dead for sure. Chao Yong and everyone else craned their necks to look inside, seeing that nothing had happened. Lu Sheng remained motionless, making the surrounding atmosphere eerily quiet. Chao Yong rested his hands and asked, the gravity system is on right, why isn't he reacting at all? Lu Sheng stomped hard on the ground and began to practice martial arts, performing a few punches and kicks, which made Chao Yong and the onlookers gape in astonishment. Chow Yong couldn't believe his eyes and stood frozen in place. The fat guy from before now had weak legs and couldn't stand steadily. He stammered in fear. Everyone training around saw Lu Sheng practicing martial arts in the strength room, and their mouths dropped open. Isn't that Lu Sheng? Look, everyone, Lu Sheng can even make cracking sounds in a gravity environment. Everyone crowded to watch. Some still stubbornly disbelieved. It's fake, right? They panicked and shouted, "What's going on? Holy cow!" After finishing a set of punches, feeling quite comfortable, Lu Sheng said contentedly, "This feeling is quite new." Lu Sheng walked to the control panel, wanting to try higher gravity. He curiously observed for a moment, "Is it this button?" Chow Yong outside observed Lu Sheng pressing something on the control panel. He frowned and thought to himself, "Is he unable to bear it and wants to stop?" After Lu Sheng pressed the button on the control panel, the gravity room suddenly emitted an extremely piercing sound wave. This sound made everyone watching unbearable. Everyone covered their ears because they couldn't stand the noise. Some even couldn't stand up because of this sound. What's happening? Chow Yong's mouth hung open, cold sweat poured down as he stammered, This is. Outside the gravity room, the display showed Lu Sheng level 4 gravity. Chow Yong also realized that Lu Sheng had activated quadruple gravity. After feeling the intense gravity around him, Lu Sheng thought to himself, "So this is what increased gravity feels like. Very good, let me try." Lu Sheng immediately knelt on one knee. A strong hand gripped the ground. Everyone outside saw this and laughed gleefully. Ha ha ha, he can't take it anymore. But no, Lu Sheng mustered all his strength to lift his hand until only 2 fingers were supporting him. At this time, Xia Lin also returned tired after a long training session, so tiring the instructor is too strict. When passing the gravity room, she saw everyone gathered in a group, marveling at something curious by nature. Xia Lin also wanted to see why are there so many people over there. Xia Lin quickly went over to check the situation. Upon getting closer, she saw everyone with the same expression, wide-eyed and agape at the terrifying thing happening. Xia Lin hadn't realized what was wrong and asked, "What are you looking at? Is it that interesting?" After looking closely into the gravity room, Xia Lin shrieked in horror, Lu Sheng is doing a handstand on 2 fingers in level 4 gravity. This was too terrifying, making her also have an inexpressible expression like them. In Xia Lin's mind at this moment, there were countless huge question marks. She smiled, but tears fell in her heart. Haha, Lu Sheng, Chow Yong, wasn't much different from her. He fell flat on the ground, slamming hard against the wall. Thump. He was currently questioning life. A minute ago, he was full of confidence that he would defeat Lu Sheng. Now, he realized the gap was too far. Why is he so strong at this moment? Chow Yong seemed to go mad. He gritted his teeth, unable to accept this reality. Didn't he sleep for over a month? The sleeping rabbit, Lu Sheng on the ground, and the turtle, Chow Yong, deep in the abyss. The turtle, Chow Yong, cried and rolled around, exclaiming, "Didn't I surpass him after nearly 100 push-ups?" Lu Sheng thought to himself, quadruple gravity is still fine. This familiar feeling is almost right. Lu Sheng quickly walked to the control panel to adjust. Everyone outside immediately realized the gravity had increased. They screamed 5 times, "Oh my God, quickly call people over." Lu Sheng felt the gravity and quickly performed his move, natural breathing method, exchanged the breath of the earth. Hearing that Lu Sheng was testing 5 times the gravity in the gravity room, all the students of this course rushed to watch. Everyone's faces were filled with unconcealable panic. "Did you hear anything? What? Let's go quickly in the gravity room. Is that true or false?" Lin Shengyu, who initially scoffed at Lu Sheng, was now grinding his teeth in anger. Damn it, that man. He's back this time, no way. The entrance to the gravity room was now packed with spectators. It's really him. At this moment, Lu Sheng really knew how to take people from one surprise to another. Chow Yong's eyes widened, almost popping out. He pressed his face against the glass frame, looking at the scene inside, truly bewildered to the extreme. With 5 times the gravity, Lu Sheng still jumped casually without any discomfort. Lu Sheng thought to himself, 5 times the gravity, just right for my current cultivation state. Perhaps I can barely perform the movements in the refined body art. As for going higher, perhaps just moving around would be enough. After trying 1 punch, Lu Sheng sighed. Not enough, completely not enough. I need more pressure that can push my pressure to its limit. Seeing Lu Sheng go to the control panel made everyone breathe a sigh of relief. What does he want to do? He finally can't take it anymore. He's about to turn off the gravity effect. After all, 5 times the gravity, it's amazing he lasted this long. If it were me, I wouldn't last a second. Unexpectedly, Lu Sheng didn't press the stop button, but even increased it by several levels. Seeing Lu Sheng's action directly struck all the students present, shocking them to their core. In the general command room, Dong Ting Shui sat dejectedly thinking, today, there are 2 more people, it's only been a few days, and so many cadets have withdrawn from the camp. Si Jun handed Dong Ting Shui a cool glass of lemonade and gently said, they're all spoiled by their families. The prodigies feel wronged here. It's normal, they can't adjust. Dong Ting Shui drank the lemonade and said dejectedly, they can't even handle this small difficulty. What about later, when they go to the battlefield to fight real gun battles with alien beasts? Will they be able to persevere? Taking a sip of lemonade made her frown slightly. Too much sugar. Qin Xiao Jun said, "You're just too diligent. Actually, the quality of this batch of cadets is not bad. I estimate about 80% of them can persevere until the camp closes." Seeing looked at the control panel and said, "Happily look, the gravity room and movement technique room both have people breaking records." As he spoke, Qin Xiao Jun suddenly froze in place. "This is incredible. Someone has set a historical record in the gravity room again." Dong Ting Shui calmly set a historical record. "Is it Chao Yong? I remember he was about to reach 4 times the gravity, right?" Si Jun smiled reluctantly. "It's not him. It's someone you would never expect. Lu Sheng, 8 times the gravity." Dong Ting Shui heard Lu Sheng's name and was stunned, crushing the cup in her hand. "What did you say? You said Lu Sheng." Qin Xiao Jun praised this kid. "What level is he at now?" Dong Ting Shui replied. "I don't know, but the person we needed to find we finally found." In the zero-gravity training room, Lu Sheng was enduring terrifying pressure, making it impossible for him to sit up straight. "Haha, my whole body can barely hold on." Lu Sheng thought to himself, 8 times the gravity for my current blood chi is still too heavy a burden. It's almost at its limit. My endurance is about to run out, Lu Sheng thought to himself. Then let's try the new cultivation method. Lu Sheng quickly used mental power to recreate a complete heart, identical down to every cell molecule. Then he used the newly created heart to surround a main heart, forming a super strong protective membrane. At the end of the mental heart recreation process, a terrifying surge of power ran through Lu Sheng's entire body. Along his blood vessels, the immense power made Lu Sheng suddenly fall backward. He stood up to feel this new surge of power. Humph, just completing a part of the cardiovascular system. My blood chi has increased by almost 10%. This is the divine illumination king scripture. Lu Sheng happily clenched his fists and smiled, thinking, then let's see where my true limit lies. After saying that, he quickly ran to the control panel. Everyone saw Lu Sheng go to the control panel again and were terrified. What does he want to do again? It's already 8 times the gravity. Doesn't he want to? At this moment, the glass door of the gravity room immediately cracked. A few students were immediately pressed to the ground by the gravity, escaping from inside the room. Chao Yong was truly scared now. He yelled, "Lu Sheng, what exactly are you doing?" The system announced 10 times the gravity. At 10 times the gravity, Lu Sheng was pressed tightly to the ground, unable to move. The floor also shattered, unable to withstand the excessive gravity. Lu Sheng spoke with difficulty. "It's really heavy. All the joints in my body are crying out. My blood seems to be about to stop. Don't even talk about moving a little. Just staying conscious has taken all my strength. This is 10 times the gravity. It's fundamentally not something I can endure." But then Lu Sheng felt excited. The desire to conquer it made him feel energized, and he said, "Just as I wished. Who can change the future, reverse the outcome, and destroy? Is it someone who cultivates high-level martial arts, someone with exceptional talent, or someone with infinite resources?" Lu Sheng exerted all his strength and braced himself to stand up. He shouted, "It's someone who can break through the limits." Lu Sheng finally, after much effort, was able to stand firmly, and at the same time, released an incredibly vast amount of energy. At this moment, all the spectators also felt this immense power. No one had the courage to stand firm and confront it. Lu Sheng's power at this moment was unrivaled. Yang Yin, seeing Lu Sheng confronting it so powerfully, made her think to herself, Lu Sheng is back. After Lu Sheng stepped out of the gravity room, everyone looked at him with astonished eyes. They parted to make way for him. Lu Sheng walked out drenched in sweat. A rather pretty female student shyly stepped forward and offered Lu Sheng a towel to wipe his face. Student Lu Sheng turned to look at the girl with a puzzled expression, while the other girls around looked at her with admiration. Lu Sheng calmly took the towel, not to disappoint the girl's kindness, then smiled and said thank you. Lu Sheng took the towel and left, while the 2 girls cheered joyfully. Lu Sheng didn't pay much attention to them. He checked his phone and thought to himself, if I had known it would only take this much time, I wouldn't have deducted 3 hours of accumulated points. What a waste. A moment later, a notification appeared on his phone. After clicking to view it, Lu Sheng was quite surprised. Breaking a record also comes with accumulated point rewards. A bell rang. A record has been broken. Accumulated point rewards on the leaderboard. Lu Sheng is currently in the lead with 4,335 remaining accumulated points. Seeing Lu Sheng's accumulated points stunned everyone. Someone looked at their own 6 points and exclaimed, "What? Such terrifying accumulated points. All of us combined aren't even half of his. I haven't eaten meat in 3 days." Lu Sheng was happy to receive so many points. He thought to himself, over 4,000. Enough for a meal. Next, Lu Sheng headed to the training room. Someone standing near Lu Sheng saw him walking towards them and immediately fantasized, "He's coming towards me." Everywhere Lu Sheng went, everyone automatically stepped back and made way for him. Under everyone's bewildered gaze, Lu Sheng walked straight, hands in his pockets at ease. Seeing that Lu Sheng still wanted to continue and had no intention of stopping, all the students there quickly followed Lu Sheng. It's Lu Sheng indeed. Where's he going? Hurry and follow him to see. Yang Yin stood watching Lu Sheng's back and thought to herself, Lu Sheng. Such a strong sense of presence, surpassing so many people. Everyone around her also discussed animatedly, 10 times gravity. He's really not human. It's too scary. Yang Yin looked at Lu Sheng and felt immense admiration. That figure, like a fierce tiger setting out, with 100 beasts following behind. Yang Yan's friend exclaimed, Lu Sheng, he has a power-type talent. He broke Chao Yang's defense-type record in the gravity room. This is truly... Could it be that his chi and blood value has broken through to 4th order? Seeing her friend praise Lu Sheng, Yang Yin seemed to realize, power-type. The direction he's heading is the movement technique room. In the movement technique room, Meng Tianhe was vigorously training. With his speed talent, he could quickly and flexibly pass through dense laser beams. Although Meng Tianhe was flexible, his strength was depleted over time, so he still struggled to move. Despite his efforts, he was hit by a laser beam. The system displayed a notification. Training ended. This training's achievement, second stage completion rate, 87%. Meng Tianhe was quite satisfied with the data results and sighed in relief. Phew. The system displayed a notification. Congratulations, martial artist with ID DU 284363. Your movement technique has surpassed the trainer, reaching 52%. Meng Tianhe saw the achievement board and was quite smug. He grinned widely. The movement technique achievements in the training room are announced throughout the Martial Alliance every time. I can achieve a world ranking in movement technique at any time. I have surpassed half the people in the entire world. That must be at least several hundred million people. Indeed, there's still a gap between people. Awakening a speed-type talent and receiving private guidance from Instructor Chin. The gap between me and others is incomparable, and others, just by watching my training, can see my extraordinariness. Meng Tianhe smugly opened the door. What he longed for was everyone's praise. Everyone would hail him as a unique genius. But the reality was like a bucket of cold water poured directly on his face. It left him frozen for a long time. There wasn't a single soul around his training room. Everyone had almost flocked to the adjacent room. Meng Tianhe wondered what's going on. Where did everyone go? Instructor Dong and Instructor Chin are also here. What are they watching? Is the instructor personally demonstrating? He quickly ran over, grabbed a friend, and asked, Hey, what's going on? What are you all watching here? The friend, whose shirt was grabbed, said irritably, Of course, we're watching Lu Sheng. Who else could it be? Meng Tianhe scoffed upon hearing Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng? The sleeping god of Baihe City? Don't tell me you think that sleeping god can break my record? Are you crazy? Seeing Meng Tianhe's arrogance infuriated his friend. He turned back and said, What? What the hell are you? Seeing his friend suddenly turn and curse at him, Meng Tianhe was bewildered for a moment, not understanding what he had said wrong. At this moment, this was the answer to the mockery Meng Tianhe had just uttered. His friend exclaimed in shock, What's happening? Meng Tianhe also saw the situation inside and was startled. No way, this is all shooting machines, full power activated. Lu Sheng was quite calm at this moment, activating the system. After observing his surroundings, he immediately understood the training method. He thought to himself, so that's how it is. Just need to dodge the laser beams, right? It seems impossible to know in advance from which direction the light will shoot. That's one of the difficulties of movement technique training. But this difficulty, for me, basically doesn't exist. The system was ready, and the laser beams began firing with dense intensity. The surroundings were like intricate spider webs, but with his extremely fast movement technique, Lu Sheng easily and quickly dodged them. Meng Tianhe saw this scene and shouted in fear, How can this be? How can this be? Thousands of laser beams appear in the training room. No one knows what will happen the next minute. Such density and frequency. How can this be? Meng Tianhe frantically grabbed his friend's collar and lifted him. Are you sure this is really Lu Sheng's first time entering the movement technique training room? The friend, whose shirt was grabbed, trembled and said yes. All of us followed him here. Before coming here, he also broke the historical record in the gravity room. 10 times gravity. Hearing this achievement, Meng Tianhe felt like collapsing. His eyes were bloodshot, unable to believe the truth. Meng Tianhe slumped to the ground, thinking painfully, Lu Sheng. Isn't he a power-type talent? Didn't he sleep for a month? How can this be? Such a huge gap. Everyone around saw Meng Tianhe dejected on the ground and worriedly asked, Hey, what's wrong? But now, Meng Tianhe almost had no will to fight left. He felt overwhelmed with despair and helplessness. Observing Lu Sheng's behavior made Dong Jingxue quite suspicious. She thought to herself, Lu Sheng, is this really his first time doing movement technique training? No, that's not right. Even hundreds of times wouldn't make it this easy. His movements, rather than being reactions, are like predictions. Sure enough, could it be that he is? Lu Sheng in the movement technique training room was like a fish in water. He unleashed his full strength, agility, and judgment. At this moment, Lu Sheng effortlessly and smoothly passed through the dense laser beams, elegantly and refined, not crude. Dong Jingxue, observing from outside, couldn't help but want to probe Lu Sheng's spiritual power. Seeing Dong Jingxue preparing to control her spiritual power, Qin Xiaojun immediately asked, "What do you want to do?" Dong Jingxue quickly retracted her spiritual power. She felt an urge to check again, but her will made her stop. Dong Jingxue thought to herself, "Nothing. Strange. Didn't I already try probing it last time?" He had no reaction to mental power whatsoever. Why do I still want to try? Am I stupid? The training room system displayed a completion notification. Movement technique. 2.62% completion. Lu Qing thought to himself, this training session isn't bad. I feel like my movements could get a bit faster. Very quickly, the system announced a new notification. Past movement technique training stage 2. Everyone watching also marveled at this terrifying speed. It's only been a few minutes. Has stage 2 already ended? Yes. Lu Sheng's stage 2 felt particularly simple. Why does it feel different from the stage 2 I've seen before? Qin Xiaojun saw the students evaluating the challenge as simple, so he turned back to let them know the disparity. Let them know what it means to be a genius, so that everyone realizes what's so particularly simple. It's just that Lu Sheng made it look particularly easy. His movement technique has already reached the perfect realm. Dong Jingxue stood with her arms crossed, a challenging look on her face. I, on the other hand, want to see what level he can reach. Qin Xiaojun saw her cold, proud expression and laughed heartily. Haha, Dong Jingxue. This is probably the first time our thoughts align. The system also began to announce, starting movement technique training stage 3. This time, thousands of balls flew at dizzying speeds, almost without any gap to dodge. In addition, thousands of laser beams also shone down. Everyone witnessing this dense scene was terrified. Clusters of laser beams flashed continuously, making the surroundings glare blindingly. Even just watching, people had to cover their eyes from the strong light. Is this stage 3? Meng Tianhe had no will to strive anymore. He gaped in horror. His entire body even trembled as he thought to himself, it's too difficult, isn't it? Thousands of balls were rushing towards Lu Sheng, combined with laser beams, greatly increasing the difficulty of the stage. The speed was also incredibly fast. Now, clusters of laser beams lit up simultaneously, looking like a rain of light, making Lu Sheng think it's getting harder and harder. This time, they even want to try using light beams to block my escape routes. Not bad. I should also put in some effort to try. To break through the encirclement around Lu Sheng, he directly exerted force to detonate all the balloons flying towards him. A loud explosion echoed, and Lu Sheng quickly escaped. Qin Xiaojun saw a surge of power lingering behind him, and panicked he gritted his teeth and exclaimed, "Holy crap, this is the entry realm. He just broke through right here. I guess he's a veteran level, for even level 5 soldiers on the battlefield rarely train their movement techniques to the entry realm. I only broke through to the entry realm at 22." Dong Qingxue also admitted dejectedly, "I was 25." Qin Xiaojun screamed in disbelief. "That's different. I'm a speed-type martial artist. With natural talent speed-type, I was born with a huge advantage. This kid is only 18 this year." The system announced again, movement technique stage 3, 15% complete. At this moment, a laser beam grazed past Lu Sheng's eyes an extremely close distance, even just a few millimeters away, yet Lu Sheng still managed to quickly evade it. The laser's speed became faster and faster, making him break out in a sweat he struggled to dodge. Thinking the difficulty is increasing, relying solely on mental power to predict is a bit exhausting. Seeing Lu Sheng's speed beginning to slow down, Qin Xiaojun speculated that Lu Sheng was no longer finding it easy. At this moment, the laser beams were like a ready spiderweb, just waiting for Lu Sheng to fall into the trap. After observing the situation, Lu Sheng realized it was not good and quickly executed a move. Breath of wind, Lu Sheng's speed suddenly became astonishingly fast. His figure was almost invisible. Only a streak of light flashed by the system quickly announced movement technique stage 3, 62% complete. Those outside couldn't keep up with Lu Sheng's speed either. They pointed in disgust. Where's Lu Sheng? Did he disappear? The system announced again, movement technique stage 3, 81% complete. Qin Xiaojun closely monitored the situation and quickly realized this kid's speed is too fast and naked. I can't fully keep up. That's why it looks like he disappeared. Finally, it ended, and the system also displayed movement technique stage 3, 100% complete. Lu Sheng inside the training room was exhausted. He stood in place to recover his strength. Qin Xiaojun saw that it seemed to be over and happily left, praising immensely. The younger generation is formidable. The younger generation is formidable. You've shown everything today. 10 times gravity in stage 3 of the movement technique room. He looks tired. Let's go back. Dong Qingxue still stood silently, seeing Qin Xiaojun advise her to go back. She frowned and said, "It seems Lu Sheng still wants to continue hearing this." Qin Xiaojun was full of question marks and finally returned to his curious nature. At this moment, the system sounded again, technique level 40% complete. Qin Xiaojun saw Lu Sheng still wanting to continue and shouted in shock, No way, even I just started the 4th stage. Can he break through all the way today? Dong Qingxue silently focused on watching Lu Sheng perform. After activating Mode 4, Lu Sheng accidentally collided with a strange machine. Suddenly, not just one, but countless strange machines flew up together. 4 laser beams shot out from its body and linked together like a giant net surrounding Lu Sheng. Each network was interwoven very tightly. With almost no gaps, the entire net was gradually lowering, engulfing Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng, standing inside the net, had to clench his teeth in helplessness. Everyone watching was terrified by this level and cursed, "Holy crap, what in the world is this? Can he really dodge it?" Meng Tianhe saw such a formation and stammered, unable to speak this. Yet, after a while, Lu Sheng passed through it smoothly. The system displayed movement technique 430% complete. Seeing the increasing difficulty, Qin Xiaojun rested his chin on his hand and said seriously, "Finally, it's reached this intensity. Let's see how Lu Sheng handles this." The initial level was just a small net, but now the system had upgraded it to a new level. The laser beams were densely interwoven, incredibly vast, almost no escape route. Lu Sheng thought to himself, the speed of breath of wind is almost at its limit. So then, Lu Sheng decided to display the mental power of the divine illumination scripture. His mental power at this moment was strong like a flame, covering Lu Sheng's entire body. With just one move, Lu Sheng was able to stretch space. Everything in his eyes at this moment seemed to be standing still, including the laser beams. Lu Sheng tried to feel everything around him and thought. The feeling of time is like slow motion. If I remember correctly, in the professional terminology of a mentalist, it would probably be called temporal perception. Lu Sheng used this time to quickly pass through the laser beams with ease. Now Lu Sheng was like light speed that the naked eye couldn't see. This is mental power that has reached a qualitative change, and this kind of qualitative change command occurs in a level 3 mentalist, which means am I finally officially a level 3 mentalist? Now, Dong Qingxue's face was shocked by Lu Sheng's power. Her whole body felt an immense surge of mental power. This power even cracked all the glass in the training room. Not only that, but even the ground cracked along with the mental power surge. Standing in front of the shattered glass, Dong Qingxue smiled happily and said, "You are really a mentalist, Lu Sheng." Qin Xiaojun turned to see Dong Qingxue and froze for a long moment. Dong Qingxue had now completely unleashed her mental power. A transparent figure of mental power was gradually appearing. Seeing such terrifying mental power, everyone around retreated in fear. Qin Xiaojun screamed in panic, "You want to do what? Are you crazy?" Dong Qingxue ignored everything and directed her mental power towards Lu Sheng with a very serious attitude. Dong Qingxue said, "I want to test him again." Dong Qingxue quickly ordered the figure. The figure did not hesitate and rushed towards Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng, who was struggling to avoid the laser beams, saw Dong Qingxue's illusory clone rushing towards him. The terrifying power seemed ready to tear Lu Sheng in half. Lu Sheng was not panicked at all at this moment. He calmly met the attacks and dodged the fatal blows thrown by this illusory clone under Dong Qingxue's control. Seizing an opening, Lu Sheng quickly unleashed a powerful move, sending Dong Qingxue's illusory clone flying. The figure disintegrated and transformed into a growing vortex before disappearing, leaving Dong Qingxue severely wounded. After her mental power returned to her body, Dong Qingxue clutched her chest in pain. Lu Sheng's last move left Dong Qingxue unable to stand straight. Dong Qingxue endured the pain and struggled to say, "Lu Sheng indeed. He is a mentalist. Moreover, his mental power is no less than mine." Si Jun, standing next to her, was equally surprised to hear Dong Qingxue confirm it. Lu Sheng saw Dong Qingxue's recent actions and thought to himself, "Watching is fine, but touching is too much." Lu Sheng turned around and saw the tangled mess of laser beams, making him frustrated. "But I've also reached my limit. I didn't expect opening temporal perception just now to consume so much mental power, and someone came to bother me." Stage 4 is only halfway complete. The temporary growth from the breath of wind and the vital energy of the divine illumination king scripture can only go so far. Oh well. Lu Sheng then moved toward a laser beam to let it hit him. The system also displayed a notification. Training ended. Training achievement this time. Completion rate of the 4th stage, 56%. Congratulations, warrior number 285632. Your movement technique has surpassed 97% of trainers. Everyone watching outside exploded in cheers upon seeing Lu Sheng's achievement board. "Oh my god, are these results really from a student?" Lu Sheng's movement technique alone has surpassed hundreds of millions of people. Meng Jinhe was almost petrified, a smile on his face, but tears in his heart. Tears have fallen. The game is over. I only comprehended 52%. He could be 45% higher than me? Ha 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 ha. Is he still the strength talent type? Lu Rong walked out of the training room, looked at the rankings on the scoreboard, and thought dejectedly, so there's still 3% of people stronger than me in movement technique. 3% worldwide must be tens of thousands of people, right? I'm still very weak. I need to train harder. Dong Qingxue led the applause to congratulate Lu Sheng. Congratulations, classmate Lu Sheng. You just broke the historical record of the gravity room and once again set a new record for the movement technique room in this base. Where do you plan to go next? The practical combat training room or the mental power room? Lu Sheng indeed took everyone by surprise. He said nonchalantly, I'm not going anywhere. It's almost mealtime. I plan to go to the cafeteria. As he spoke, Lu Sheng checked the cafeteria's announcement for today's new dish. Qin Xiaojun saw his calm expression and Dong Qingshue's complicated look, which made him burst into crazy laughter. Ha 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 ha. As expected, it's still this kid. 3 hours later, after eating his fill, Lu Sheng was called to the command room. He entered and greeted, Chief Instructor, did you call for me? In the room, Qin Xiaojun and Dong Qingxue were already waiting for him. Come here quickly. Lu Sheng respectfully greeted, hello, Instructor Qin. Qin Xiaojun immediately said, I called you here this time mainly for a simple strength test. After that, we'll discuss a few things with you. Lu Sheng promptly replied. Dong Qingxue held a blood collection needle and asked, each dorm is allocated a blood collection needle. Have you checked your blood qi during this time? Lu Sheng honestly replied, never checked. The blood collection needles in the dorm can't pierce me. He dejectedly recalled how every time he wanted to check his blood qi, he couldn't pierce himself, and the needle even broke. Qin Xiaojun laughed. I told you early on this kid must have reached level 3. Without this physical intensity, how could he have broken the gravity room record? Dong Qingxue, bring out the blood collection needle. Dong Qingxue took out a high-grade gold-plated blood collection needle from her pocket. This is a blood collection needle prepared for level 5 warriors. It should be enough for you to use. Lu Sheng extended his hand for Dong Qingxue to draw blood. After a certain amount of blood was collected, the needle displayed the blood qi value. Blood qi value 24.65. Warrior level, level 3. Both instructors were quite stunned by this data. Qin Xiaojun forced a smile and said, this guy. It's been over 10 years since I've seen such a young level 3 warrior. Qin Xiaojun pointed to the combat power meter and said, let's see what your combat power is like. Lu Sheng became serious. He thought to himself, if I'm going to be tested, then I have to give it my all. Let's see what my limit truly is. Lu Sheng focused all his power into a punch. Not only that, but he also combined multiple martial arts techniques together to create a shockwave. Iron Fist, Flaming Breath, Boxing, Perfect Realm. Star Alignment, Power Release, Eightfold. This punch was truly terrifying. The machine quickly displayed the index. Strategic Index, 271,920. Warrior level, level 4. Qin Xiaojun was dazed for a long time by the data. 270,000? He thought to himself, a level 3 warrior. Striking with combat power, almost like a level 5 warrior. This kid is indeed a monster. Qin Xiaojun hurried over, patted his shoulder, and praised him endlessly. All right. You've graduated from his training camp. What you want to do next is up to you. Remember to report your warrior level to the association for registration. Lu Sheng was praised and said, thank you, Instructor Qin. Dong Qingxue suddenly stood up and said, wait a minute, Lu Sheng. There's one more test. This is called Energy Sense. It's a type of unusual crystal discovered over 100 years ago in the Ansha Gorge of the Lion Kingdom. It has an extremely strong absorption capacity for mental power. After refinement, it transforms into specialized mental power intensity used to test psionics. Just by touching it with your hand and channeling mental power into it, your mental intensity can be measured. After explaining, Dong Qingxue quickly used her mental power to touch the stone. The stone immediately lit up, displaying Dong Qingxue's information. Qin Xiaojun saw her mental power intensity chart and praised, oh, your strength has increased significantly again. Even the purity of your mental power has improved quite a bit. I don't remember you only having over 3 points last time. Mental power intensity, 143.2. Mental power purity, 4.2. Dong Qingxue looked at him with disdain. Do you think I'm like you? Not inferior to her. Qin Xiaojun quickly retorted, Dong Qingxue, you can insult me, but you cannot insult my way of life. Lu Sheng then received the stone from Dong Qingxue. He carefully used his mental power to touch the stone. Both of them watched seriously. Suddenly, Qin Xiaojun turned to Dong Qingxue and whispered, if you say Lu Sheng has half your strength, I'd believe it. But not inferior to you? I really can't accept it. Dong Qingxue, who was intently watching Lu Sheng, heard Qin Xiaojun babbling in her ear and angrily yelled, shut up, don't disturb Lu Sheng. As Lu Sheng held the stone, a layer of golden power immediately enveloped him. The stone also emitted an incredibly bright and dazzling light, astonishing Dong Qingxue. She exclaimed in surprise, how can this be? The stone now displayed Lu Sheng's mental power index. Mental power intensity, 113.56. Mental power purity, 20.3. Dong Qingxue could no longer keep her composure, her mouth agape in shock. How is this possible? She thought to herself, mental power purity 20.3? That's 5 times higher than mine. It's incredibly difficult for scientists' mental power to purify even a little each time. It's like endlessly stacking ordinary towels and compressing them until it becomes a small compressed towel. Not to mention this 5-fold level. After only 2 years of arduous training, I've only improved a little. He's only 18 this year. His strength is truly exaggerated. The word genius cannot describe him. Only, while she was deep in thought, Qin Xiaojun beside her screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Amazing. So amazing. Incredibly amazing. So amazing he's almost flying. Dong Qingxue saw his actions, and her face immediately darkened. A mental power punch instantly flew out, forcing his mouth shut. Qin Xiaojun was hit with a super powerful blow that almost made his eyes pop out, and he yelled in agony, "Ah!" After shutting Qin Xiaojun's mouth, Dong Qingxue asked Lu Sheng, "You can't, right? You've learned mental power cultivation techniques before, right?" Qin Xiaojun painfully held the lump on his head, suffering in silence. Lu Sheng calmly replied, "I can transmit. My teacher taught me a unique mental power cultivation technique, along with techniques and methods for using mental power." Dong Qingxue breathed a sigh of relief. As expected, she thought to herself, having a teacher to impart knowledge is normal. If Lu Sheng had no teacher and reached this point purely based on his own talent, I really couldn't accept it. Dong Qingxue praised. Even with a teacher, it's enough to prove your own talent is very strong. You probably awakened your talent not long ago, right? Lu Sheng thought for a moment and replied, "Less than 3 months." Hearing Lu Sheng's answer, both of them fell into deep thought. This truth was utterly shocking and incredibly wild. Qin Xiaojun scratched his head with a chuckle. TSK. It took Dong Qingxue a while to accept this truth as well. Awakened 3 months ago, mental power intensity has reached level 3. And with such high purity, even in the Scientist Association for several decades, it would be hard for a monster like you to appear. Lu Sheng was quite surprised and asked, "Scientists also have an association?" Dong Qingxue immediately said yes. It's completely separate from the martial arts association system, because the awakening talent of scientists is too rare. Even though the population of our Dragon Kingdom is basically very large, less than 1% of people have the awakened talent of a scientist. Perhaps your teacher deliberately didn't tell you, fearing it would affect your cultivation. After all, the more you know, the more distracting thoughts you have, and the purity of your mental power would decrease. But a genius like you, I still hope you can join the association. The association will provide more resources to help you cultivate. Dong Qingxue took out a necklace. The pendant was a dazzling stone. She gently handed it to Lu Qing and said, "This is my token. Bring it to the association. They will provide you with corresponding help." Lu Qing took the necklace and said, "Actually, I have never seen my master's appearance. Every time I receive his guidance, the method is very mysterious." Dong Qingxue then said, "Your master is probably a very powerful person." She thought a normal person with strong talent like Lu Qing, after early cultivation, will sooner or later be considered a golden asset. The master, he spoke of, let him develop on his own, and even didn't want to show himself. Only high-level talents can have such a style of action. As expected, there is no talent in this world for no reason. Lu Qing also silently thought. Now it's very hard to explain by continuing to use talent as an excuse. Why not just admit it? My master is from 100,000 years in the future. His strength has reached level 11. His name is Duan Yifeng. Qin Xiaojun then reminded, "Ahem. While everyone's having a good time talking, I'd like to interject for a moment. I came to you today to discuss a few things." Lu Shu politely extended his hand. "Please go ahead." Qin Xiaojun took out a card. "First off, this is for you. Here's 5 million. Even though the training camp hasn't officially ended, you're undoubtedly the top performer. This is an additional reward for your exceptionally outstanding performance." Lu Shu was startled when he heard the amount. He couldn't help but blurt out, 5 million. Dong Qingxue saw his stiff expression and frowned, saying, "You shouldn't be dissatisfied. This is the largest limited amount we could get. The Eastern Military Region's military funds have always been difficult. This time, most of the funds supporting the training camp were entirely spent on your students. 3 meals a day." Lu Sheng was still immersed in the money. He had just received 5 million. Okay. Qin Xiaojun ran over and patted his shoulder. "Kid, you're the most famous glutton in the training camp, plus the money you've eaten, if added up, is about 7 to 8 million or so." Lu Sheng heard the number and exclaimed, 7 to 8 million. Lu Qing was stunned. His face also turned pale. "So those foods were that expensive, then I won't be able to eat them anymore." Dong Qingxue sincerely said, "Student Lu Sheng, although this amount is a bit small, it's enough to prove the sincerity of our Eastern Military Region. This is the second thing." Lu Sheng held the card in his hand and asked, "Eastern Military Region, is this considered recruitment?" Qin Xiaojun, "Pray smart, you can understand it that way." Dong Qingxue seriously said, "Perhaps you understand, a martial arts prodigy like you, sooner or later you will have to go to the battlefield to kill enemies, a sword forged from blood and iron, using enemies to sacrifice to heroic souls in a safe zone. You cannot cultivate a true dragon warrior." Qin Shaojun added the country and the martial alliance give martial artists so many privileges and support. It's not for martial artists to enjoy. For nothing you will sooner or later reach that stage. We hope that when you face the choice of military regions, you can prioritize considering our eastern region first. Qin Shaojun then approached and intimately grabbed Lu Sheng's shoulder, saying also our eastern region has an advantage. The female soldiers in our military region can be said to be the best in the whole country. Their looks, their bodies, each one has large breasts and long legs. While he was drooling and talking, Qin Shaojun was suddenly controlled by Dong Qingxue. Using psychic power, the chair flew straight into Qin Shaojun's face, sending him flying away. After dealing with Qin Shaojun, Dong Qingxue turned to Lu Sheng and said, "There's one last thing. We've decided to let you represent the geniuses of Dongnin province to participate in the Dongbo province's Kai Min Tuong Tin selection." Lu Sheng was surprised. Kai Min Tuong Tin. Dong Qingxue then explained, "That's right, all eastern provinces organize training courses for geniuses every year. The main purpose is to select a true potential general star from tens of thousands of reserved geniuses. Perhaps you know what a general star represents, right?" Lu Qing said with a serious face. "That is a high-ranking master, a genius among geniuses, a person standing at the peak of the grandmaster level." Ti Shaojun added, "Kai Min Tuong Tin is the future grandmaster, the reserved general star. Such a person only one appears in the entire eastern region each year. And this person is the one chosen from all the prodigies." Lu Sheng, you think about it. Lu Sheng immediately agreed without further thought. "I will go," he thought to himself. "If I live in this era, some things are unavoidable. When I want to use my own strength to change the destiny of the entire nation, I must try to turn the tide and make the flame burn bright." Qin Shaojun patted his shoulder, praising, "I and General Instructor Dong both strongly believe in your ability. If even you can't do it, then I can't imagine anyone else in this Dongnin province's course who could. I also forgot to tell you. The prize for this election is directly awarded by the Eastern Military Region, and it's much more generous than what a small training camp like ours can offer." Lu Sheng said, "I understand." He also secretly calculated, "The more talent I reveal, the more resources I will get." Dong Qingxue approached and reminded, "The Kai Min Tuong Tin selections are only a few months away. They will officially begin after all the provincial training camps have ended. I will inform you. Then anyway, I won't let you miss the university entrance exam." Qin Shaojun casually said, "With your strength, whether you attend university or not doesn't matter. You can choose any martial arts university in the eastern region." Lu Sheng asked. "So can I stay at the training camp?" Qin Shaojun said, "Whatever I. Didn't I tell you to do whatever you want? If you don't want to stay, you can leave anytime." Lu Sheng thought for a moment, then quickly left. He also showed joy as he walked and said, "Then I'll stay a bit longer. If there's nothing else, I'll go back." Now Qin Shaojun turned to Dong Qingxue and said, "I bet this kid is staying absolutely because of the food." Dong Qingxue saw Lu Sheng walk away and sighed, "I never thought Dong Qingxue would ever be jealous of someone for their talent." Qin Shaojun also sighed, "That's right, but he's not like us. He's destined not to be an ordinary person, I can guarantee." Lu Sheng will definitely create an earth-shattering change for this era. Early in the morning, Lu Sheng was already in by his city Martial Artist Association. Entering the building holding a stack of documents, Lu Sheng looked around and thought to himself, "It's been a while since I've been here. I remember Chairman Xiao is in the office on the 6th floor." While looking for the office, Lu Sheng heard shouting from inside the room. "Enough. Old man Xia, you intentionally came to provoke me, right?" The assistant standing outside saw Lu Sheng approaching and forced a smile, saying, "Lu Sheng, you're finally back." Lu Sheng pointed into the room and asked, "This is?" The assistant quickly opened the door and invited him to come inside first, and then talk. As soon as the door to the room opened, the assistant announced, "Chairman Xiao Lu Sheng is here." Lu Sheng also calmly walked in. As he walked in, an old man cheerfully approached and shouted, "Azo," while Director Xiao sat there angrily. Without saying anything else, the old man excitedly walked over and said, "Old Xiao, is this the top-tier genius you always talked about to me? Not bad, not bad. He truly is a young hero. I told you, old Xiao, don't be too angry. Think about it. Not everyone can be as outstanding as my precious granddaughter." Chairman Xiao was so angry at old Xiao's words that he trembled, his whole body recoiled, and he couldn't hold his teacup steady. Old Xia continued to show off. He took out his phone wallpaper and patted Lu Sheng's shoulder, comforting him, but mostly showing off. "There are quite a few people who are not as good as my Xiaolin. No one in Baihe City. Lu Sheng, you even give documents to a chairman of a small Baihe City association to approve." Old Xia saw the documents in Lu Sheng's hand and ridiculed him further. "Young man, did you make a big mistake in the training camp? Let this recommender, old Xiao, take the blame for you. This is not a joke." Chairman Xiao quickly stepped forward, grabbed the documents, and looked at the smug old Xia, his face livid with anger. He grimaced as he tore open the outer envelope and looked at the contents inside. After opening it, President Xiao was also extremely surprised by Lu Sheng's results. He pressed his face against the paper to see if it was true. Old Xia saw that he had finished reading, but was still standing there frozen. So he happily smiled and added fuel to the fire. Old Xiao, don't get so angry, you faint." President Xiao ignored him and yelled, "Lu Sheng, when did you break through to a level 3 martial artist?" Old Xia's eyes widened in surprise when he heard Lu Xiao. Lu Sheng, standing there, calmly, said probably about a month ago at the training camp General Supervisor Dong personally helped me verify. She said that the military zone has the authority to recognize the strength of martial artists. You just need to find you to stamp it after everything is done. President Xiao smiled brightly, unable to close his mouth. Qualified, of course. It's qualified, huh? Your general instructor represents the entire Eastern Military Zone. I will stamp it for you now. Before he could take it to be stamped, old Xia, standing next to him, angrily snatched the report and irritably said, "Let me see, is it true or false?" Old Xia held the paper and read it carefully, sweating profusely as he read level 3 martial artist, 18 years old, combat power, 270,000. Old Xia still didn't believe what was written on the paper. He picked it up, then turned to look closely at Lu Sheng and suspiciously said, "Could it be that someone falsified a document somewhere?" President Xiao snatched the document back this time. He successfully humiliated old Xia. "Give it to me, give it to me, a fake document, go make a fake one for me to see." The huge embossed seal of the Eastern Military Zone is stamped on it. "Didn't you see it?" President Xiao pointed at the red seal on the paper and looked at old Xia. Smiling smugly, old Xia, feeling humiliated, angrily shouted, "I don't believe it, a kid like you who was eliminated early from the training camp. How can you have a combat power of 270,000? Lu Sheng sighed. "I never said I was eliminated from the training camp. It's just that you always thought so." "Oh, right," President Xiao, the general instructor, told you to call her back. She's afraid you won't believe this document. It needs to be verified in person. President Xiao smiled and patted old Xia's shoulder with a triumphant look. Why wouldn't I believe it? Am I such a suspicious person, right? Old man Xia, old Xia, was so angry he couldn't say another word. Looking at President Xiao with hatred, President Xiao quickly connected the computer and eagerly said, "But this call should still be made. I heard that General Instructor Dong Qingxue is a famous genius in the Eastern Military Zone. I might as well admire her a bit. Let's make a video call." The call quickly connected. Dong Qingxue immediately said, "Are you here with Lu Sheng?" President Xiao Yuha of Baihe City. President Xiao quickly greeted, "It's me, hello, General Instructor Dong." Old Xia was now terrified, sweating cold all over his body, was trembling slightly. "It really is General Instructor Dong." Xia Lin, who was training with Dong Qingxue, poked her head in to look at grandpa's voice. "Grandpa, where are you? Why are you video calling General Instructor Dong?" Dong Qingxue frowned unhappily. She seriously turned around and lectured Xia Lin. "Xia Lin, have you achieved the goal I set for you? Why are you still so distracted today? The training volume will be increased tenfold." Xia Lin fearfully hugged her head, trembling, and said yes. Instructor Dong, seeing this scene, Lu Sheng and President Xiao looked at old Xia with annoyance. President Xiao quickly pushed old Xia aside and said with a smile, "All right, let's talk about the main topic. You two grandchildren can go back and talk slowly." Instructor Dong, the document you asked Lu Sheng to show me, everything will be taken care of very quickly. Old Xia was pushed aside, his face dark with anger, unable to do anything. Dong Qingxue said with satisfaction, "That's good. Don't delay the main event a month from now. After all, Lu Sheng represents the genius training camp of Dongning Province to participate in the Kai Ming General Selection of Dongning Province. He is the strongest genius in this training session. No need to continue training." President Xiao froze for a few seconds after hearing this, completely shocked. Kai Ming General, the strongest genius. President Zhao's eyes lit up brightly, and he pulled old Xia closer, putting an arm around his shoulder, joyfully showing off. After hearing Dong Qingxue's words, old Xia trembled all over, laboriously sitting down in a chair with a dejected expression, thinking to himself, how terrible. So it turns out that the monster in the training camp you complained about in the video was this Lu Sheng in the video. Instructor Dong Qingxue was still angrily yelling at Xia Lin. "Xia Lin, get up for me. Can't you even handle this little difficulty? Do you still want to defeat Lu Sheng?" Xia Lin timidly cried loudly. "Instructor Dong, I really don't want. I can't beat him after this. I'll just run away when I see him." "Okay," President Xiao happily greeted. "Prepare and hang up, I understand." "Instructor Dong, then I won't disturb you anymore." President Zhao's face was beaming, thinking, "Old man, see how you have your day too." Dong Qingxue, seeing President Xiao about to hang up, quickly said, "President Xiao, don't hang up yet. I want to say a few words to Lu Sheng." "Lu Sheng, you asked me to help you find exclusive weapon crafting materials for spirit mages. I've almost finished finding them. I will make a list of the specific names and prices and send it to you. Just tell me what you want me to buy. And finally, quickly go and pass the spirit mage test. That way, you'll be qualified to log in StarNet and buy things yourself." Hanging up. Seeing Dong Qingxue hang up, President Xiao quickly ran over, grabbed Lu Sheng's shirt collar, and asked Lu Sheng what did Instructor Dong just say. Lu Sheng also gently added, "It's because I was tested for mental power talent at the training camp. So Instructor Dong wrote a letter of recommendation telling me to take the spirit mage test when I have time. That's all." President Xiao, hearing Lu Sheng say this, patted his shoulder, smiling so wide he couldn't close his mouth. The feeling of putting old man Xia down again is so refreshing. Good Lu Sheng, I really didn't misjudge you. You are truly a top-tier genius of our Baihe City, rarely seen in 100 years. Old man Xian no longer had his initial appearance. His spirit had completely collapsed. He sat there smiling with tears in his heart. 270,000 spirit, mage haha at this moment. He could only force a smile and admit defeat. At the entrance of the Martial Arts Association, President Xiao personally escorted him to the door, showing warm concern. Do you really not need me to call a car to take you home? No. I have somewhere to go. President Xiao carefully reminded me. When you're free, come to my house for dinner, and I'll introduce you to some friends to get to know. They're probably around your age. Perhaps you'll have common topics to talk about. I'll personally cook a few dishes for you to taste. Finally, the taxi arrived. Lu Cheng got into the car, smiling, and replied, I know. He thought to himself, indeed, in the martial arts world, hacking is the best martial arts for kings. The driver also curiously asked him, young man, what's your relationship with President Xiao? I saw him being so polite to you. Lu Cheng looked outside. The driver could tell he was in a good mood. It seems President Xiao finally got some face. Lu Cheng replied, casually, nothing special. Just acquaintances. President Xiao has always been very polite. As the car was moving, a sign suddenly fell from above. The driver didn't even understand what was happening. What is that? Lu Cheng quickly got out of the car to check the situation. He saw the sign of the Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy shattered everywhere, ruins all around. Lu Cheng frowned and said, what happened to the Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy sign? Inside the Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy, everything was in ruins. Nie Shuang helped her easily angered father, pointing at the thugs and saying a group of arrogant people approached them with an aggressive attitude, as if they wanted to smash the martial arts academies to pieces. The leader of the group smashing everything was Lin Taizhan. He arrogantly said, Master Nie Hongshuan, haha, today, we're not talking business. Only martial arts. Lin Taizhan. Today, I specifically come to seek guidance from your Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy. Nie Shuang helped her easily angered father, pointing at the thugs and saying, what's the point? You're still a level 4 martial artist, taking advantage of my father's injury to destroy the Martial Arts Academy. Lin Taizhan, you are truly shameless. Nie Hongshuan was beaten black and blue. Giving up and accepting defeat, he trembled and said, Lin Taizhan, our Nie Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy has agreed not to accept new students for 1 year. What else do you want? Lin Taizhan was like a cunning wolf, full of ambition. He revealed his greed. Haha. So what if your Nie Hongshuan Martial Arts Academy dares to put up a sign? Then you should be prepared for it to be smashed by others at any time. Nie Hongshuan saw that Lin Tieshan's intention this time was to destroy his martial arts academy and cut off his business. He would never give in to such a greedy wolf. He seemed to have decided that he would protect his martial arts academy, even if it cost him his life. You're right. If you put up a sign, you must have the ability to protect it. 20 years ago, I, Nie Hongshuan, came to buy a city alone. I built this foundation entirely with my fists, of course. I still can now. Nie Shuang saw her father risking his life against these thugs and worriedly said, Nie Hongshuan's fighting spirit ignited fiercely at this moment. He said, seriously, it's okay. Lin Taizhan saw his appearance and scoffed, haha, if you don't have the ability, don't brag so much. Look at you now, you're beaten, crippled. It's all your own doing. That 18-year-old level 2 martial artist. Is that a student you, Nie Hongshuan, can teach?